guys, welcome back. This is really part 2 of Princes of the Apocalypse. If you want to fully catch up on last week, I'd say just check it out. We've got it up on YouTube and it's on Twitch. But as a brief introduction, last time our heroes exposed themselves to as not wanting to join these spectacular knights in the Feathergale Spire. They were ultimately defeated in a large battle and then sacrificed while going over the edge. They successfully assassinated the leader, Thoromoroska, and right before they hit the ground, they were suddenly swooped up by some strange humanoid bird people. Michael Keaton. Birdman. Dad. Okay. So, moments before impact and you made peace with Tempus, you thought of your family.
I was just happy I killed that motherfucker.
That you've got one last dig in. Strong arms and wing beats, and you guys are flying over the valley. For a few seconds, you're a little worried that you're still going to fall because you are still in heavy armor.
Takes two, actually.
This one's got that.
But they managed to lift, and you guys are soaring across the valley. The sun has now just managed to set, so the valley is dark, and you can kind of see the lost river that you're going over. Crags and rocks, underbrush. You guys come almost all the way up to the north end, and it looks like you're just hurtling into bushes and rocks. And for a second, you instinctively can't help but be like, oh. And you do get scrapes as you pass the bushes, but you end up in a cave. And you kind of come up in, and you see that there's still starlight from a large hole in the ceiling of the cave. And there's a small fire going. And these creatures set you down in front of a roaring fire. And as you look up, there's more bird people. And in fact, there's one sitting on a throne of just like wood lashed together, much like a bird's nest. Just sitting there.
And we're wrecked, right?
You guys are...
We're like 1 hit point.
You guys are
We did technically level.
You did level. So you guys have however many that would give you, but you are nearly dead, ragged, beyond a single stowed dagger in Nas's arm. You have no weapons, no equipment, no shields, nothing. And you guys are...
These bird people have survived with no weapons and no training. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Alright, dude.
So you guys are kind of set down. It's an abrupt fall that they give you, but it's not, they didn't just discard you. It's just you finally feel your full weight on the ground again. And it took, 30 minutes or so to get here.
I think Broad Trip would just be blinking, kind of looking around like, no, are we out of the fire and in the frying pan, as they say?
Possibly, as I kind of put my hand on my sleeves. I don't take the dagger out, but I just kind of have my hand on it.
You do so, and you notice as the figures that picked you up are kind of walking now to form a semicircle around this throned figure. You see some eyes dart down. You almost know that they're instinctively watching some of them. And it's a strange haze. Like your eyes have been just dry from flying. They're holding spears that look like they have a few clothes on, all feathered, large beaks. And then finally, the one in the throne kind of looks at other ones, and you hear a couple like, ah, ah, and a response from another one who dropped you off, like, ah, ah, ah. And she regards you, and she stands up. Actually, you guys roll just knowledge of nature to see if you can figure out what these are.
Nope.
10.
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
This is a completely foreign sight.
Bro, don't speak. That's what he does. Who are you then?
She stands, and her wings kind of each almost give a stretch as she stands up, and then they fold back.
Does
behind
she have
her.
arms or just wings?
She has arms.
Okay,
She
so she's
has,
got wings and arms.
it's arms, legs, wings that come out of the back.
Okay.
The way
Got
you
it.
would imagine angels would
Got
typically.
it. Okay.
Or no, that ain't.
And yeah, no, of course. She looks and she's like, "We are Aarakocra." As she gives those clicks, there's like almost like an assent among the others that are standing there, like, she's like, "Who are you?"
Well,
Heroes?
Broderick is my name.
Almost looks like you can see that her beak is almost trying to move in a way that she'd be able to form a roll.
That's right. We're from to the west. Waterdeep. Those regions. This is the Stalwart, whose name I almost forgot, but it's Henrik. Sorry. And this, my young friend is Nos.
Henrik.
Not quite how I say it, but
Shut up.
Nice. You are enemies of that tower.
here we are now.
Very much so.
We didn't intend to be, if I'm being truthful. I didn't know who they were, but yes. When we came to know that they were rotten to the core, we are their enemies now.
One from behind her is like, "Ah, ah, ah," and she gives an almost shrill like, "Ah, ah," and like the wings come out, and she turns back to you. We are enemies of the tower. She continues, she's like, and the caves of the gully.
Is that why you saved us then? From our doom?
We have been watching the tower. They took my mother's older child, strong-winged like me.
Sorry to hear that. Have they taken others?
Not yet. They cut her wings, threw her off the tower. We've been watching who goes over the tower. Saw two go over. When we checked, it was one of their armor wearers and one in white robes.
Thrown off the side.
Not who we thought.
That was me. I threw them off.
We didn't know about that, right? You didn't tell us.
I think I told him, but I hadn't
Yeah,
told
just
you.
be like,
Is that true, Nos?
Yeah.
Well played. And here I thought it was my.
Oh, no. Well, I think it was both.
As do I.
We watched them gather and throw you from the tower.
Yes, we became their enemies.
I killed their leader before I fell.
Good. Knowing leader, not meant to sit in the skies. She kind of now like comes up and almost gets a little too close and starts kind of regarding you. Like her beak and face are inches from yours, and she's like kind of rubs her feathers like up against you to each one of you. Just You see the others kind of shifting. You are a student from your book of etiquette. You know that you are not understanding the full nuances, but that the calls back that the others in the semicircle are, this is some social hierarchy of like a language and dialect. You know that it's some sort of mannerisms. You cannot parse out what. Like, I get it. She's like, I'm Queen Iki.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Iki. We owe you our thanks.
And our lives.
Indeed.
Oh, yes. But we are not concerned about that now.
What are you concerned about?
The tower is a concern, but the gully more of a concern.
What's in the gully?
The ones in white who take the feathers off the winged ones.
The
Go
broken
in.
ones.
But it's worse. She's like, see shot. And you see an actual robed one of these come out, and it has the face of like a tawny owl. Shaman, talk to their bones about the gully. And it kind of walks over. It's like, just starts speaking a bird language, does not have any common. She's like, fell magic in there. Too powerful. We not know what to do. This is all we are. There's 6 of them total.
There's no more to your tribe? Just the 6 of you?
Not here. Our kingdoms are elsewhere. We are spread out in secret.
Makes sense. What do you want of us?
We are willing to help you. You helped us.
Agreed.
I think I speak for all 3 of us when I say we will have another crack at that tower.
Not much good without our equipment.
All of the tower as well.
We can help you, though we do not have armor like you, or other weapons like you carry, not like knights, but we have some. Like, we can take the tower.
Is he not in his armor?
No, you're in.
Okay.
You're in your armor. But
Okay.
Clearly, that heavy of a material.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And you see, I mean, they're holding like javelins and spears from what you can see. They do look a little bit more Bronze Age, like a lot of hammered stone and things like that that look certainly effective, but by no means are they forged.
Got it.
I think we'd take about what we could get. I won't speak for my compatriots, but we fell a good many of them, including their leader.
And their lieutenant.
If we strike,
As you say that, he would think about it for a second.
and their lieutenant, I believe if we strike quickly, we could take them still by surprise when they're disorganized. Perhaps if you could harry any reinforcements, don't have to engage them directly, just distract them.
We can do it, though you look like you're not going to make it long.
No, I suspect it would need to be in the morning,
Or tomorrow night.
or tomorrow night, or perhaps before first light.
That would work too. Could you fly us back the same way you flew us here? Drop us off at the top of the tower?
We can do that. Fly you to the top, drop you off. We can fold wings, go into tower, take revenge.
Do you expect they saw you catch us? Will they be expecting us?
We don't know.
We did fall through mist.
They have the spyglass up there. They very well could have spotted.
And it was at night.
We couldn't say for sure if they spotted.
They typically keep watch, but then go out hunting other times. They kill Manticore. We don't care. Manticore eat eggs. They kill us. We care.
Well, I imagine they won't be hunting anytime soon, not after what happened. As I've said, we fell a good many of them. Not enough.
Good. We will let you rest. Head out when you want. But at some point later, the gully. Not now. You need help. The winged one is there.
Winged one.
Look like a queen. Wings.
Like you.
No.
What was the queen's name in that note?
Yep. Hold on. Why do I not have it?
Erisi Kawana.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have it.
Look like pointy ears.
Elf.
Like an elf. With wings.
Wings not natural. They don't look right. She purple gray.
Can we make a nature or history check or not?
Knowledge Arcana.
Just roll a die and tell me.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a die.
I got a 3. So is that good enough? I'm gonna crank the audio. People saying it's just a little bit quiet.
Okay.
Gonna crank up the gain on the mic real quick. Not much, just a little, Andrew.
Yeah. 12.
All right. Hopefully that doesn't clip.
With a 12, you're like, could be one of the. You know that there's a bunch of kind of like sub races of elves.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that could be one. You don't know.
Yeah.
Typically, you're like, well, there's high elves and wood elves. You're like, I guess there's some other stuff too. None of you have ever heard of an elf with wings. 100%. In fact, it sounds anathema.
Some sort of magical effect, perhaps. Wouldn't know. But that's our queen, Erisi. You said it's in the gully. Which direction from the tower?
It's north, east.
Is that the direction the spyglass was pointing?
Was it? Yeah.
It's all coming together then. The note said to keep an eye on them.
You will not take it as free or with us.
And with who?
Heavily guarded.
Heavily guarded, magic's fair air does not work the same as it works here.
Air doesn't work the same. What do you mean?
The whispers on the air are not the same.
Well, let's take back the tower first, and then we can decide. We can figure out our next steps.
You rest, we bring food.
Thank you.
We owe you much.
We decide that after the tower. She takes strange steps again. Her wings are like stretching out behind her. And then you see they all come up, like puff up their feathers and stand incredibly close to each other, like a big clump. And they're just like, and then you see each one of them rub the top of their beak under what would be the chin of her beak, and they head off and start going. They bring you food. It is some barely cooked rodents. You've got a couple, berries, things that you would forage.
Oh, we should partake.
I've probably eaten worse on jobs.
Yeah.
I just eat it. Because I'm like, I have in a different way, I have the mentality of a soldier in the sense that if I have a chance to eat and rest, I take it.
Yeah, I think this is the first time Broderick is missing Waterdeep. He's thinking of some, Omnish, spicy,
And
spicy
some
stir
ale.
fry. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have any bird
Real
ale,
dry
do you?
mouth.
They do bring you, and they of course bring you water. There's
In a bowl. Is it in a big bowl that
A bath.
They have stone jugs for sure, but they do have a lot of bowls. Like you notice around, like there are a lot of like the water is poured into bowls, and yeah, they, I mean, cock their head at an impossible angle and
Right. Do the old black tongue.
And as you look around, some look like all manner of birds. Some have like black and gray feathers. Their feathers come to almost a sharp point in the end. Others look like hawks, eagles. Obviously, there's an owl. They look legitimately like birds you've seen, except as people. And you watch them go on about their night. Nobody engages you unless you want to engage them. They mostly repair talks amongst themselves.
I think we just keep to ourselves
Yeah.
so we don't offend them.
Once we were somewhat alone, I would talk to the group.
They do.
Yeah, they're prisoners, so they're
No.
What do you think, Nas? Do you think we have a crack at taking that tower if we were fully rested and armed?
With allies. Yeah.
I agree. What about you, Stalwart?
If we do, we do. If we don't, we should be dead. So
That's right. This is a second chance, isn't it?
Second chance for some revenge.
I thought for sure we were dead there.
I was sure we were dead.
Tempest.
Worse ways to go. We gave them a good fight, but I do feel bad about Savra. She was misled.
She had a choice. She chose.
She did, but sometimes a choice isn't a choice. She didn't have time to consider. I believe she would have given enough time.
Not much time before she attacked me. So.
That's right. You're right, of course. Well,
Don't worry about it. We've been in enough wars,
of course.
enough battles, not to dwell upon that right now. You can reflect back on that after.
You're
Focus on what we need to do.
You're right, of course, but
Wise beyond his years, though. That's not saying much.
uncharacteristically wise today, Nas. Well, is it a brush with death that suddenly made you?
Determined.
Someone's grinding in the distance.
You hear them grinding
Meal.
meal.
Yeah, grinding some meal.
Didn't do it earlier. This in Castle Mac, this is player-driven inspiration that they can give out, and then I'll be giving out inspiration as I see
Inspiration
necessary.
levels
Yep.
frequently.
I think Broderick would take the chance at some shut-eye.
We can rest easy tonight, I suspect.
Only way of a choice.
As easy as can be expected.
We're gonna be up early.
Of course.
You can do that? I know you like to sleep in. I just kind of smile at him.
No, I'll be fine. We could do with a spot of ale.
You guys don't. There's obviously not much in the way of accommodations, but there are, some fabrics that they've stacked up among, and they seem to understand that you probably want to sleep on various fabrics and things. Some are kind of looking at you confused and almost questioningly as they bring you more blankets and things to stack up, and setting them down. Just kind of leaving before you can say anything, but they seem like they're
Is this how you guys do it?
Is this cool?
Brought you a rock? Is that? Oh, nope, not the rock.
A little castle for you to swim through.
And you see a lot
Around
of
the
them,
fishbowl.
some of them sleeping, it does they almost put their knees up to their chest and arms over, and the wings kind of pull around, and then their heads tuck in. Some of them sleep just sitting up. Others do, they lay down.
I think we make our nests and
I think Nas probably sleeps not too different from that, where he just kind of sleeps sitting up with his knees, with his hands around his knees and a blanket over him, and just got his head kind of in just every once in a while.
And the fire smolders. The sky suddenly turns to that light. It's about an hour before dawn. None of you guys slept great by any means.
Did we get a long rest?
Of course.
Woohoo! Oh, God.
It's been so so long.
You taskmaster.
It's just been so long.
I've never.
Give you guys the old endurance race.
I think it's been like 3 sessions. I think it has been.
It probably
Not
has.
last session.
It has. While you guys do that, I'm going to take a quick break because
Alright.
we're going to pick up
In the midst of.
in the midst of the assault on
Alright, well,
Precinct
BRB, everybody.
Featherdale.
Just blame the weather for my faults. Turned a new page to trace the lines. Overriding tape, the same thing. It's a new name. It's a new name. Spend too much time on ritual. I spend too much time on ritual. I spend too much time on ritual. Spend too much time, spend too much on my spring. Took some steps, dive down, twist again. Started forward on new lines. Carpet stacked, so I stay still. To catalog my brain, to weed out my downfalls, fix it to nothing. If I don't say for one single frame of clarity, I trade the blur. Set fire to whatever else I do. To map out every space, to rearrange as I see fit, to trade places with the map I fit in. Crumple all of it. Start it all again. Till you bite your tongue, mistake the scene for reasons. Color everything until I find some things I wanna be, but don't know how to express. So just stay still.
Man.
Alright, guys, welcome back. So, as we
Okay,
left,
so it's morning. I would cast Mage Armor using Old Magic Initiate, once per day spell.
you cast it. Some of the Aarakocra kind of regard it for a second. Their feathers seem to ruffle a little bit, like they kind of watch you do it.
I put my hands up, knowing a little bit about language, trying to make myself look up, not intimidating. Like, oh, nothing to worry about. And I would pick up like a rock off the ground and kind of show it to them, and I would cast light on it.
They take a step back, cock their heads. What you saw is that owl-like shaman comes out and is like, and to them they're like, He seems to almost regard it.
Hey Andrew, what beer is this?
It's not beer, it's dark Kool-Aid.
The most pressing question. No, this is a mature audience.
Subliminal
Sorry.
Imperial Stout by
Subliminal Imperial Stout.
No, by Buxton Brewery. There are too many words on this. Too many adjectives.
I'm sorry. I interrupt. That's an important chat question. I'll ignore almost every other chat question.
Alright, so they bring out, you see one coming out with weapons in his hands, and they just kind of dump them in front of you. As you take stock, it looks like some very rudimentary daggers. There's a couple. The closest thing to it, is a great club. I mean, it is carved. They do have one weapon, and it is rusted. It is effectively a rapier. It looks like a cutlass, and enough. This looks 80 years old. Like it's been rummaged. They do almost have a small buckler, though, that you think will work, and I mean it's just wood fashioned together. It is technically a shield, but it will only add 1 AC as opposed to 2.
So it's the saber is as old as he is.
A little bit older, yeah.
So,
Oh man, I think he would appreciate that. He'd look at it like, we both get a second chance.
did you usually wear a shield?
Yeah,
Valid
So I
bar
am
gives you
shielded
proficiency.
already.
both of them.
I mean, you guys could decide it is fairly small.
That's fine.
But the Great Club is it's a heavy weapon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So-
That makes
Yeah, it is. It's
It's
two-handed.
2d6, right?
It is
Club is-
1d8.
Oh, that's
Really?
Because it's simple. It's a simple.
Oh.
it's the biggest of the simple.
It is a
weapons.
two-handed 1d8 weapon. You have a baseball bat essentially.
That's same damage as what I had anyway.
There are javelins and spears though. If you like to, they seem to have a plethora of spears and javelins. If you would rather.
I'll keep clubbing.
I'll keep the old rusty rapier.
I'll
as
take
they
a
say.
handful of the
They got.
crude daggers.
You could get three rudimentary daggers.
Okay.
All right. As
It was 30 minutes flight time.
Mhm.
Okay. Because I'm gonna do stuff about 5 minutes out.
Okay. They all seem to be assembling it looks like the shaman is not.
Javelins are simple, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
I
are.
think so.
I'm actually gonna I'll take like 2 javelins.
2 javelins. All right.
I don't know. I know they're strength based.
Well, I think they're either. Ranged weapons could be either.
Yeah, I think javelins can be strength or dex.
And any like muscle propelled ones
Yeah.
can be either strength or dex.
I think it has to be. The weapon has to have finesse. If it's thrown, it uses the same stat modifier.
But what? I bet bow doesn't have finesse listed for it.
Bow's not thrown.
Oh, you're saying for thrown it
For
has to
thrown
be.
weapons,
yeah,
it uses,
and dagger does
which
say
is why
finesse.
dagger has finesse.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
javelins are strength based,
That makes sense though.
and javelins are simple. Yeah.
Then I won't take one.
Okay. You
I'm
feel
like-
the weight.
Mm.
Set it back
I'm
down.
gonna hand it to you. It's a ranged weapon. You got a good strength.
That's true.
You can hold a couple. Honestly, they have as many as you'd want to hold if you did.
How many? I mean, you all know better than me. How many? What's
5 would be a reasonable amount.
I'm gonna keep my Steve tools held out, but I will take my 1 dagger out and put it in my
In your holster, your
Mhm.
good holster.
yeah.
All right. You see them gathering around, and they're all prepping, and they almost seem to be doing a bit of a ritual, where they're starting to loosen up. Their wings are, and they're like, and it kind of becomes a cacophony of clicks and squawks, and then finally the queen Iki steps forward with purpose. Are you ready to attack the tower?
We're ready.
We are.
Then we go.
Put the old Rusty, like in his belt, because it obviously won't fit in the scabbard of his
They
rapier.
definitely didn't have a scabbard with it.
Have it in the belt, kind of hanging loose.
Right. The biggest one comes up, and it is a large, muscular, almost barbarian-looking eagle. Eagle man.
What's that subreddit where they put arms on birds? You seen what I'm talking about? They put like muscular arms on birds. I think it might be called Birds with Arms.
Where did they get the name from?
Why would you know about that?
Well, that's what they are. Kind of grabs you. We'll do each one. You're significantly lighter, so they almost pick you up by the shoulders.
I'm lighter than him.
And
Or
you're-
almost as light. I don't know, maybe no.
just so we're on the same page while we're.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
I just want to know what you were looking for when you found that.
What I found? Birds with arms.
You're up one night. Huh. Wonder what
Could a bird have arms?
arms. Yeah.
We'll tweet that, y'all. Don't worry.
I get a tweet.
Yeah, tweet.
I'm sorry I derailed all of this.
All right. So they grab you. So 3 of them grab each one of you, and then
Good night, kiddo. Can you give me a quick hug?
we get a quick stop here for
Quick pit stop.
some
Love you.
hugs.
Night night.
Can I go tell her if you want good night?
Just say good night into that camera right there. Say night night.
Good night.
All right, go on to bed. Love you.
Night, girl. And it looks like 3 warriors take you. Almost looks like what clearly looks like a lieutenant and the queen. Get a running start. Wings come out. They take flight. The rest, you feel their arms flex as they pick you up, and you guys take off into the early morning light. You guys.
I think I'd be getting used to the concept of flying at this point, especially with big, strong bird.
Bird hands.
And
bird
at
arms.
first, it was even with their largest bird, your feet still kind of dragged against the cave floor for a second before it had to drop off.
Like you watch behind and then he dips down.
Yeah, he
Yep.
dips.
And then
oh god, and then he goes back
does
up.
the James Bond
Yes.
plane thing.
Yes.
You can feel the strain, but he does. He gets it, and he almost comes up higher than the rest that everybody's flying, and then lets it sink in. So you guys are in a V, flying towards
Claw
the tower.
formation.
Claw formation. And as you guys are about 5 minutes away, you do hear the horn that you heard earlier.
The hunting horn.
Yep, just
How far out are we?
about 5 minutes.
Alright. I would just shout in the wind.
Nos, we're gonna need some of your quick thinking.
We'll see. Which one do
Give
I
the
get?
old bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Well, that's no fun. You gotta pick.
Damn it! I never get the best friend one.
Obviously.
Stalwart, if it is here we die today, then it has been an honor.
Now you get bardic inspiration. boys.
We're best friends. Best friends.
Alright. And at that, at the moment we hit 120 feet out, I'm going to be blasting firebolts on whoever's up top.
Okay.
I'm coming in guns blazing.
You guys pull up. Dawn is almost just starting to part the edges of the valley as you come up, and all the Aarakocra start, screeching, just blood-curdling screeches as they're coming in. You guys get in view of about 120 feet. Nobody's on the pinnacle. It is open. And they soar in.
No vultures.
No vultures.
Interesting. Big tricksy.
Alright.
That doesn't look good. Who cares?
You see as your 3 kind of drop you down on the pinnacle, and they skitter next to you and start looking around. The queen and her lieutenant, you see, go down the tower, circling it for a minute. And then as they're going, you start to hear some crossbow bolts coming out from lower, just... And within a moment, they fly back up. Like they are in the center level.
All right, well, let's go.
I'll go over to the door and see if it's locked.
It's not.
There you go.
That doesn't make it very smooth.
No, you could feel almost some of the tarnish and rust getting caught on your leather belt.
That's alright. We'll do good at a wound. Ready?
Let's go.
Alright, open the door. I'm as an interact, I'm going to open the door. As an action, I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay. You see Nas familiar with the doors. He pops it open, and you can immediately see his feet almost. He goes up onto his toes and is ready. Nothing comes. But it's pretty easy to hear just from the way that the stone curves up from the stairs. You can hear like the chinking of armor
Down there.
downstairs, like ching, ching, ching. And you can hear some muffled voices of now run.
I will cast Dancing Lights and move them ahead of our path. They're kind of four glowing orbs lighting the
I'm
stairwell.
going to pull them back. Let me go down first.
All right, go ahead.
Come on, boys. Alright, I'll stealth now.
Okay, go ahead and roll it for me.
21.
Okay.
Seems good.
And I'm just creeping around, trying to get like a little looky-loo around the corner into the Great Hall, as I assume.
Gotcha.
Where she was.
First, you come to that level that's above it.
Oh, that's right.
Where
I forgot.
Thurl
Yeah.
Moroska's apartment is. And all the doors are cracked. Some of them are creaking.
I do a listen check.
Mhm.
16?
16. You feel like you got a good ear. Doesn't sound like anybody's waiting. You don't feel like hushed breathing or anything.
Okay.
So
I'll creep back up and say, come to the next landing. Nothing's here. I'm going down one more.
All right.
what order do you guys go in?
I guess
I got the
you got
shield.
the shield, so yeah. you go
I'd look at him for a second.
Though I do have the heavy armor. I'm 17. What are you now?
Also 17.
Okay, but yeah, you go first. You got the shield.
217 buddies.
Yep, 17 bros. I'll go down first.
Alright.
With a little buckler up.
Yeah, and Buckler is being very liberal and forgiving. It is lashed together, almost driftwood.
It's a
It's a
slab of
bird
wood
bath.
Yeah.
with 2 ropes.
Is it like a log that he just has a handle on?
I'd give you the straight up +2 if that were the case. So the Aarakocra fill in behind you, and they've got spears ready. They do almost have a little bit of trouble. It's good that it's tall, the stairwell, but it's not very wide, so they are able to fold their wings up high, but they're kind of coming down right behind you, and they are nimble, quiet, even though they have taloned feet
talons.
that you can hear going down the stairs. You guys come to the same level that he was at. And then you are
Can I
coming
roll again?
close. Going down to
Yeah.
the Great Hall? Yeah.
19.
19. Easily you hear Conrad's voice. Like, cover the stairwell. Cover the stairwell. And then you hear what you remember was that monk
Mm-hmm.
clearly giving some orders to the to what you would assume would be the initiates, like, get your daggers ready. This is a chance to prove yourselves.
Do they notice? Do I come down? Do I see anyone?
If you want to see, I'm just going to say that's the listen. That's
Okay.
you right at the corner of vision, knowing you don't have any further to go, and you can clearly hear that it sounds like everybody that you recognized earlier.
Do I feel like if even like peeked around, they would see me?
You get a good feeling that they know exactly where you're at.
Yeah. Okay.
But they did not, they clearly, nothing has given way that they heard you come down, but you get the idea that just the way the noise is bouncing around, that, I mean, they are facing you, but you also don't get the idea that they're terribly close.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a large room. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and draw that room right now.
Why?
Oh, okay. Seems reasonable.
Just help our imagination.
So as you guys will recall, this is a nice circular room in the spire, and it's got these large, like 15, 20 foot, just kind of openings, like slits in the marble.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, is that
That's where you're getting. This is where the stairs come down. That's what I meant to do. And they let out right here. So
I know that you folks at home aren't getting a great view of the map. We are going to add a fourth camera in time for the next stream, or at least make sure we can do that. But we will have a overhead camera for the map.
I was going to say,
I'm
dip
actually
that
going to
down.
lower this, since you guys don't need reaction seats and you guys don't stand up very much.
Yeah. Can you see
I'll
that?
cut off a little bit of Andrew's head, but
I
nobody
just
cares
get off
about
my
that.
feet. I mean, I am the one kind of drawing those views.
Oh, are you?
I mean, if you've seen me, you would understand.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can see the map.
I don't get it. I'm looking at you. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. All right.
Can they see the map now?
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, it's not the best circle, guys. I
It's
got.
probably not
That's a circle.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
I thought the tower had fallen over.
Look, it's an
and
old
it fell
tower,
on
and
that side.
there's a lot of erosion that's taking place.
It's definitely
that's the windward
second
side.
best circle.
Yeah. There was a battle here. You guys don't know. You just got here.
You guys are stupid.
No inspiration.
Hold on, I gotta go get a couple more figures.
DM anger reinforcements.
All right. Well, you can clearly hear that they're in there, and they sound like they're waiting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's really just gonna be initiative.
I'll try to creep up behind Nos.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't have heavy armor on.
I don't. I'm not bad at stealthy. 8.
They don't have
It's
a
my
clue.
knees popping.
And the rusty scimitar dragging along the wall.
It must be about to rain.
You guys aren't that spread out. As you just recognize that you made a bit more noise. That you didn't come down as gracefully as you had hoped. By no means were you clanking around, but it wasn't smooth. And at that point, you can tell that you feel the shifting of feet, and you can hear.
I just cringe as he comes up behind me.
And you suddenly hear Conrad go, "Is that you? Is that all of you coming down finally?"
Do it, Nos.
Okay. I'll be moving in. Rolling initiative.
You guys will in fact be rolling.
Before we roll
Assuming they're
initiative, I want to give him inspiration for being really good at stealth.
Oh, thanks, man. I told you, as I said, I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
You know what? While we're being so generous, before we've rolled anything, I will give this to Nos for
Really?
suddenly being very wise.
Oh, that's
He's learned. The
that's
boy
very
is
nice
learning.
of you.
Thankfully, I don't have anybody to give mine to, so.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't get one. That's because you got the
Yeah,
best friend.
well, I mean, here we have the cleric. See, the bard's giving out inspiration, double bardic inspiration. Thanks for being a team player.
Bardic and regular like. Well, maybe one day you guys will actually
Like
buy
Shao's here?
That's a Comey, man.
Was that Comey? Whatever. They all look like.
Oh no, they don't.
Your figures look a lot
They
alike.
do. They do indeed.
Come on. Don't be mean.
Nice.
Oh my god, those armored boys are not going to be any good.
We didn't kill any of those, did we?
No.
No, we didn't.
No, it did not.
Well, at least there's only 10 enemies so far.
So far.
Mm-hmm.
Look behind the screen.
This is fine. Where are we?
You guys have come out
Is this the
right
bottom?
here, and we're gonna say you guys have all made it down. The Aarakocra are
Alright.
behind you.
Michael Keaton's.
Alright, I haven't rolled initiative yet. You guys?
Let's see.
Assume everybody hands on the waist in front of the other person in front of them.
Hands on shoulders.
Yeah, I did a good
Hands on the hip, finger on the lip. Did you do that in school?
No,
When a sign for
we
everyone
didn't
to
do
get
Yes.
quiet?
this. I don't know what the 2 was for.
No, they beat me back in my
Yeah,
day.
you were old.
They used belts.
It wasn't typical.
Well,
but
they didn't
I
have
mean,
leather
exception
yet,
for you.
though. They used
No, they
belts
made us.
made of rock.
They made us go out and cut the switch down, and then they beat us with that switch. I swear to God, that's what my grandfather used to do.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. What's
And you turned out fine.
What?
nice?
What? Murder everyone. Nothing.
Okay.
That's it out loud.
I don't think so.
What's that?
They rolling dice up there.
No, that's wait. They're coming from above.
Okay.
Why did you roll so many times?
Let's see. So we
1, 2, 3, 4.
got. Okay. What are your guys' initiatives? Round one.
With the horn. 14.
14. Okay. Nuts.
I got 19.
Okay.
18.
Wow,
Cool.
that's different.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they got 20, 21.
Hang up the rear. Someone has to.
What's your dex modifier?
3. Whoo! Oh, that's good.
My man. You know what you must do.
Killed them both. In
Well, I'm not gonna get the assassinate off.
Oh, you're not?
I can't. They're not surprised.
I thought you got advantage whenever you
I'll
attack.
sneak attack. Assassination only works when I catch them by surprise.
Oh, I thought it was whenever you roll with advantage and they haven't acted yet.
No. Oh, no, I don't think so. Let me look at it. It's usually much harder, and I've been lucky with how often it's happened.
Well, while you're looking it up, as you guys come down, you see the line of knights ready to go, spears in hand. They've got
That is surprised.
That is surprising.
they've
They're
got
not
their
surprised.
sheathed swords. In between them, you see that monk. He doesn't actually have a sword. He's unarmed, although you do see some what look like darts there, and then a row of monks all holding daggers, and behind them, holding.
Wait, this is a row of monks all
I'm
holding
sorry.
daggers?
Of
The
the
initiates
initiates that you guys saw.
Yeah.
And behind them, you see holding your shield and holding up your wand is Conrad.
Nope. I'm
I'm gonna go for him
The
first.
shield of
is
Tempest.
gonna die.
And the
I
wand.
won. Where's my rapiers? You got that too?
Why? What do you need that?
I got Rusty Boy.
Where's my warhammer?
He's like, so, suppose we'll see who's worthy here. Those born into it, or those who sneak in and try to pretend. Initiative is yours, my friend.
What are
Those are the rooms, and that was the
Okay.
table. And in fact, you guys see on the table, laid on there is Thurl, who skin and veins are clearly black throughout. I mean, he looks grotesque in death. And Savra on the other end, with the manticore head laid next to her, and oddly enough, wherever they got flowers from, laid around her. Nuts.
All right. So, can I get behind? Wait, so 5, 2. Okay, I know. Are those doors closed or open?
Those doors, they're open,
Okay.
actually.
All right. I don't want to do that.
Gonna go in there and take a long rest.
Yeah. Go in there, take a long rest.
Lock it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move into the room.
Okay.
No, not that far. Just to the corner. There.
Just to the corner.
Right here.
Mhm.
I think. So I'm gonna go there, and I'm going to throw dagger at him with sharpshooter.
Gotcha. You going -5?
Yes.
Okay.
Do it, my dude. -5, it's...
No, I know, but I have bardic.
Oh, bardic.
And I have
And you
inspiration.
have regular.
And regular what?
Inspiration.
Yeah.
And we allow inspiration to be used as a reroll.
Yes.
For those of you back home.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll the bardic inspiration, can I also use this after I roll the bardic inspiration?
Oh no, I hadn't really thought about that. What would y'all do? You guys are a bit more experienced than
Well,
I
the
am.
regular rules for inspiration are that you got to spend it ahead of time. So we're already liberal in allowing
Okay,
the
so
reroll.
alright, so I'm gonna
I would,
spend
I would
this.
say you got to do that
I'm gonna
first.
spend it. I got a 15.
I mean, it's invisible, so I would reroll it.
Did you see what it was? I couldn't see what it was. What was it?
It was a 1.
Was it 1? Okay. So 16.
You imagine, as you've already added up their armor, though that would have typically done it, but he raises the shield and your dagger sticks in it.
Nothing I can-
And as he pulls it down, he just has a sneer on his face.
Oh yeah, get rid of that. And then just moving back into that corner as a
Right here?
as a bonus action. I'll
All the way
move.
back?
Yeah.
All the way? Gotcha.
And
Alright.
As an interact, I'll draw the other dagger.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Hey, I can download the creator for this, and you can add your own music to it and like make scenes. It's kind of neat. I might show it to you.
Yeah, that's cool.
'Cause you could use some instrumental tracks, my man.
Alright,
Make us a soundtrack.
let's see.
You need me to do something for you?
Next to move is Conrad himself. He goes 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Cannot see Nas yet, but right in the door is Broderick. And he raises the wand to you.
Nah, dude.
He spends.
How many charges did you use on it?
It's
All of them.
What was it?
probably full.
Was it?
Yeah, I think I'd only used a handful.
Too bad. You feel the second delay that you know he's overcharging the wand a bit.
Should be fine.
Oh.
Yikes.
Is that 17? Did I
That's-
do that math right?
That's 17.
This should be good.
The force of it just ripples into the magic armor that you put on of your mage armor and just cuts through it. Should have never left this, old man. And you should have never insulted me.
Yeah, he's too hurt to have a witty retort.
Stalwart!
You do. Ahead of you is like he's right next to you as you've come out the door. He slams into the wall behind him. You see that familiar trickle of blood come out from an internal wound.
Why is he going over there?
Trying to find his keys.
This monk, with incredible speed, just and you see him coming, and he's got both hands out in the claws as he's running.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Sorry, that was me.
Okay. He makes 2 attacks, so I'm just gonna roll them both. Nope. I think he misses you on both, my dude. He tries to go, and you're ready for a dodge as you hear him come up, and one goes across this way, the other one goes as you kind of block it.
Tempest is good.
That was him. Henrik, it is your go.
So, we're not on the stairway, we're out.
No, you got
There's like a landing there.
this right here. You guys are effectively out there behind you, and we need to get out. Oh, actually, I didn't even roll for y'all's allies. Excuse me. Actually, they're gonna go
Right after us, right?
Right after Henrik. Actually, no. Broderick, what was your? You were 14.
14.
Oh, got it.
I got this whole person on my friend here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is that a save for me?
Yeah, 13.
Is it a wisdom save?
Yeah.
He You see him smiling, and then you see the almost petrified of right where he is, just the shield, and he's holding the wand. But yes, you have held him.
Sweet. Okay, so you can only cast one spell per turn, right? Okay.
Well, if you do a bonus
Bonus.
action spell, you can cast a cantrip.
But you
Right.
cast a more than a cantrip.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I'll just move into try and protect. And that's me.
All right.
Can Broderick turn and just be like, "Don't rush in yet"?
To them?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Word. How you hold your action?
I'm not holding my action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking them to hold their action. Or whatever. That's what I said, however they interpret it.
Okay, yeah, not. They would move up right to the point that they could, and they all just wait in a single file line up the stairway, right behind you, waiting for a signal.
Alright.
Oh, so they're stuck on the stairway.
Yes.
I would step into the room. Actually, you know what? I'm hanging back. I would say, Nos, he is nothing! You can take him down, no problem!
Oh! Oh. Well,
Make
okay, I'll take
inspiration.
it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Then I am going to cast Shatter
Oh, you took it.
right
That's
here.
fourth.
Yep. So it should affect.
What was it?
It's a 10-foot radius. So this, he would be out. So if I put it right here, it'll get him and these three boys.
Okay.
Con saves, please.
Con saves. So here's for the three boys.
I was hoping it was Dex because he automatically
Yeah.
fails.
That's what I was
They
thinking.
failed. He makes it.
Alright.
17 damage, and he would take 8.
Okay, so. They were not expecting that, and it shatters behind them, and you see them all take a step forward as they're kind of blown off their stance of their like speared wall.
Yeah.
Bird boys.
You are blocking them, though, right?
They can still move past me with half.
Okay.
I'm not stepping into the room, sorry. After taking that hit, he's
Yeah.
just like,
They were-
leaned up.
I think they were waiting on some other signal for you, so they're chilling.
Okay.
All right. With that, these boys rush through.
You don't have the thing where Bardic Inspiration can be used to subtract from their attack rolls?
Yes.
I
It
do.
does.
Okay.
Yep, it adds to your armor class.
Alright, so, yeah,
it's
it's
different
the
than
same
the other one.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
Or
the
you can
armor.
subtract from damage too, can't you?
No.
Oh, that's the other
That's
one.
the lore bard. Valor is add to your AC or add to weapon damage.
Ooh.
Which is nice if you get a crit.
Ooh. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
All right. These boys pour in, and
Question: did any of these guys pass with an opportunity attack on him?
they went around.
Gosh, I should have gone right there. That was stupid. Well, no, then they still wouldn't have left, so never mind.
All right. They have their spears out right now, so I'm gonna do. These are their multi attacks.
Hang on, you might want to roll him individually because he's got that bardic inspiration.
You've got that. All right. So here is this guy's attacking you. Here's his first. Nope. I'll just do that again. I think that's definitely gonna get you, my dude. And
I have 17 AC.
We don't know what their modifier is.
What do you roll?
At the
16.
bare minimum, you'd have an 18, but if you rolled a 4 or 5, you might stop it.
You'd have to roll above a 3, I think, for it to work.
Might as well just take it then.
Yeah, so,
Gonna take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
you know, assuming he has more than, or if he has +1, he probably doesn't know. Okay.
It's 8 damage, my dude. Alright, the next guy over is his first attack.
You do need to make concentration.
Ah,
Yes.
yes.
Whole person, yep.
He missed.
Bardic Inspiration. It is a save.
But I rolled a 4. So. Wait, what's
It's a Constitution save, which you
So
don't
that's
have
6.
proficiency in. So you're at 6. You need to roll a 4, 5, or 6.
so 50% chance?
Probably worth it.
Yeah.
Roll it.
And I can always get you another one.
Yeah.
I got one left.
Damn
As the spear cuts through that stone armor that you have, you do see the moment of almost like a
That's too bad.
breath for the
Okay,
first
let's see what
time
happens.
of Conrad being like, "Ha!" and he shakes. And now, actually, we're coming to you. So here's the first one on you, Broderick. No.
Oh, they make 2 attacks each. I thought those were already
Yeah.
on me. I was like,
Yes.
cool, he missed. I'm probably going down here, but
He
we'll
did
see.
not get you. That one is going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
5 damage.
Still up.
Yep.
And actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back. Before this other one, the queen would have taken a shot. She was going to hold if anything
Okay.
came there. So she is going to attack that guy right there. Nope.
Man.
Alright, and then his last one. Gotcha. 4.
Now.
7.
Okay, I'm down.
Alright. These initiates file in next. Actually, they get in front of Conrad. And you see them bracing themselves with daggers. Nas. It's your go, my friend.
Alright, as a bonus action, I'm going to disengage.
I got you. Where to?
I'm going to move over to that one standing above you.
Hold on. You were here?
Uh-huh.
10, 20, 30. That's as far as you can make it right there.
Hmm.
It's still trumpet dagger.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think if I want to march for him. I do have inspiration still.
You got it, spell.
Yeah. She's adjacent to him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, 16?
Yeah.
All
Woo!
right.
You didn't spend it either, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I rolled a 10 and I
Down
rolled.
to 1 left.
Yep. All right. So I did get my sneaky. And daggers, so this is. So that's 22 damage.
How do you kill him?
Woo! I just run up and you know, I kind of whistle, and as he turns around, I just throw it right into his throat.
Oh, yeah, just... He turns, I mean, suddenly, and it does. And spear goes down, he hits.
Nice.
You've already pulled him off. Good.
No, I didn't. It must have been that one, though.
Oh, gotcha.
That's it for me.
Okay. Lost my left hand. Alright, that is Conrad. He takes a step over here. And he's actually gonna fire at you. With the wand.
How many did he shoot at me?
Shot he
5?
spent 3 charges at you.
Oh, he's got 3.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yep.
So you got 4 left.
Yes, it does.
That wand is nasty.
Alright. This is for insulting me. Oh, alright.
Appreciate that.
Wow.
10. Yeah, pretty.
So you
Compared to 17,
he used 2 charges for that one?
worse.
2 charges. In that moment, he and in fact, this monk, you kind of look back to see him, and you see him jump up the wall and start running
Cool.
across.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, hey, really impressive.
Yeah.
And he sits down right next to you with a kind of flip, and then
I said, I'll join you if you teach me that.
he just frowns.
I smile at him. Wishing Broderick could hear it. Broderick, sorry.
That was a hit. I don't know if do you have anything that
Uh,
would change that?
Just my hope.
Your rolling abilities tonight are commendable.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dudes.
Really not
But
fair.
I'm also-
really happy for you.
But I'm also not sorry.
Oh. For being wise beyond your years.
Oh, wow!
You take 7 damage,
Okay.
and he's gonna try to get you one more time. Yes, and he does.
He was assuming he's hitting me. He's hitting me.
I'm sure that he is. for 4 more.
4 more, alright.
And I mean, as he does, and he comes down, he just gets you twice in your torso, and you feel like some ribs might have cracked. Henrik, it is your go, my friend.
Cool. Equally hurt, or is one hurt and one not?
Let's see. Those are both hurting. Those ones there were both ones that were shattered.
Shatter.
This is the only one who is unharmed completely.
I'll swing on this guy with my trusty club. Sweet. I'm guessing that's a miss. A 9.
9 is a miss, my dude.
I'm gonna. Not gonna
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Am I forgetting something? Just tell me what I'm.
Heal him.
Oh, so I don't get the bonus action if I War Priest? That is my
he
bonus
That's your bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yes, I will do him.
Yeah.
I'm glad you stopped me.
I'm trying not to
Yeah, I
metagame too
know,
much,
I
but
know.
we're gonna die if I don't. If
Yeah.
I didn't say something.
Thank you.
Casting at second level.
D4 plus your wisdom modifier.
Right. It's like
Oh, if you cast at second level, it's 2d4,
2d4
plus
plus
your
your
wisdom
wisdom.
modifier.
That works good.
Just do 1. Your second level spells are pretty.
Good.
They're pretty, effective. There you go. Yeah.
Cool.
6.
6.
Just resting my eyes.
I'm maybe even Nos like heal him.
I'm gonna give you an inspo for healing your friend, even though Tempest wanted you to swing.
That's right.
You remembered that allies are stronger. Anything else, my dude?
I guess that's it.
Okay. Alright.
I forgot about Channel Divinity. Well,
You see that they watched you go down and are now confused, but are taking off above, flying out. So she moves to here. They've flown above. These two land here.
Get him, bird person.
Stupid bird people taking forever.
Oscar winning.
Stop it.
Starring Michael Keaton.
Actually, this one would not come right here. They would.
Bitches.
I know. That's what I was just thinking.
You son of a bitches. I was like, perfect. He landed next to me.
So, sorry, I never understand. How does healing you work when you're on the ground?
I'm
Prone,
alive,
but he's up.
But I'm
But you're
still
up,
prone.
okay.
Yeah.
But I am alive.
Alright, you hear just squawks and, just as they come crashing down.
Crit.
No, they won't crit.
Okay, so she is attacking this one that's right next to you.
God damn it.
She cannot find
Yeah,
purchase.
the queen really needs to go back to the
Yeah.
drawing board.
It's really just a figurehead.
Yeah.
These two on these guys here. This one gets a hit. You see a javelin dig into the back of one. He is definitely still standing, but he took a good blow. Alright. And then these two are going to swing on the red-robed initiates over here. Hit. Will you mark that second red robe with 5 damage, please? He takes it right to the gut and almost slumps into his friend, and the other one pushes him back up.
I think a trumpet archon would hit harder.
Right?
Okay. Broderick, you
Yay.
are back up.
He would lay there for a second. He's gonna bonus action healing word
There you
himself first and foremost. For 6.
Oh, you bumped your job.
What's that?
You bumped your charisma up.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that's the easiest thing. He would stand up. Thank you, Stalwart! Like I said before! Shatter right here. So it'll hit him and those two.
Got it. Alright, so it's con saves, right?
Con saves.
Alright, here's
Spell save is a little higher than it was.
here's for them. What is it?
14.
No. And here is Conrad.
Dick. God, I hate
I
Conrad.
hate him so much. Oh, shit! That's some good damage.
That'll be 21 damage, sir.
Uh,
So 10 on Conrad.
How do you want to kill all 3 of them?
those two. Tell me how those initiates.
I think
go
the
down to
ground would shatter, like cracks would appear, and then shards would come flying out of it and just be pierced by shards of stone from the floor.
You see as they're falling that their eardrums are blown. Blood is clearly drawn, and they are wiped. And Conrad is blown into that, like the stone between the doorways of the rooms. And it's like, ah!
Cool.
Very nice.
You gonna stay where you are?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's right next to me, so
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'd provoke if I tried to move.
Alright, so for this first dude, I want you to roll a d4. She's low, you're high.
Cool.
Alright.
See if I can survive this.
You only hit once, you'll be alright.
Yep.
No.
Missed.
No.
Woo! Woo!
I'm gonna go have a fluid level adjustment. You know, keep going.
There's nothing else
Yeah.
attacking
You see the spear goes and he parries and the next one hits his
Wooden buckler.
his wooden buckler, and he manages to push it off. Okay, you look a bit more formidable to them than these Aarakocra, so they're both gonna attack you.
I don't even have
Stalwart.
wings though.
You don't have wings. Alright, so here's one. Do you have anything that would change that right at this moment? And what's your armor class right now?
17.
Gotcha. Okay, so... Okay, so for 3 damage. And here's the next one on you. One same gets you as well.
You roll 1 again. Oh, I said
Afraid you
1.
got 8 more on there. So one gets you, you dodge the other, and you're trying to get it, but they're just, it's just 1,000 little cuts. They're just, and you can feel it puncturing the armor and going in, and you know you can feel the warm blood going through your armor.
Hey, Wiley. Sorry, Wiley just joined us. Just in time to see me eat a Rice Krispie treat.
Both of these, a bit frantic, but they're both going to attack this singular one here.
Holy.
So you kind of look over and you can see these initiates, and they're trying to find purchase in this Aarakocra, and it's just fanning feathers
Nice.
and they just can't. It's moving quickly and swiftly, with wings and arms, almost all his limbs and weapons. Knots, it is your go, my friend.
Disengage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna move up to one of these spear boys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right there's fine.
Gotcha.
And as I'm moving, I'm gonna take my last dagger out. But I'll attack him first.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 23.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 10.
Okay.
And then offhand.
Gotcha.
Crit!
Nice,
Do it.
man.
Oh my god! 4 more.
4.
Yeah.
You spin it, you get him, spin it, and you can tell that he's almost in death throes, but he's holding the wound near his clavicle, and he's just got his spear still up, determined. Okay, Conrad takes a look at you. No,
Me? Okay, good.
because he can see you, and he points.
I'll let him hit me.
Okay, okay, thank you. 15 damage.
Okay,
How are you looking there?
I'm at 5.
Should be fine.
Better than 4, that's what I always say.
Yes, you are ever the optimist.
Mm-hmm.
The man's gonna stay on you.
Yeah, yeah. What did they give me?
What's your armor class?
15? It's 15.
It is 15.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he gotcha.
I mean,
I'm just gonna roll another one. No. So 1 gotcha.
Down.
7 damage there. You see that monk come up kind of right behind Nas, and it's just a blow right here next to your spine, and you can feel muscles bend,
Something
bones
crunch.
break. Henrik.
alright then. Well, I'll swing on this. Well, I guess first I'll healing word, Nos. Six. And then I will swing on this, I assume, almost dead guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely almost dead.
They are allies of next time today.
Mm-hmm.
That's still swinging the almost dead guy. I'm never gonna hit anybody. 12?
Right now, my dude.
Channel Divinity.
Yeah,
You
I'm
were
right.
mad when you forgot about it earlier.
Might as well channel divinity. So, 22.
Oh yeah.
Or
How do you
13.
kill him with your great club, my dude?
just crush his skull, I guess, with the club. Not much.
Over and over again.
Over.
As you do that, you kind of knock into him, and you have such a good swing. I mean, 22 in your channel divinity. You graze. You graze the knight behind him. He takes a kind of goes, and you see a bruise, but he points his spear back at you.
I think there'd be a little glow from Tempest since there's a channel divinity. I don't know how.
Oh yeah,
that's how
no,
it
I
works now.
absolutely think that would happen. Like
A little glowing wooden club.
as you go, you feel almost like hands moving it, and you see the glow, and it's almost like you're cutting through water. As you can, for a moment, time almost stops, and you bash through one, graze the other. Okay. All right. She's swinging here. She got him. Okay. Alright, she dug into this one. You kind of finally see as he's coming at you. She digs a javelin right through and pulls it back out.
This one here,
Mm-hmm.
looking hurt.
Looking like he's still capable, but he's hurting. He is bleeding. These two are both swinging on this one. One got him. You see this one take flight above and jam the javelin down after he kind of come back just through and just rocks him over. So this one swings around to land here. Got him. I'm gonna mark him over here actually. No, so you see it as he's kind of looming over you. A bird come down from behind and just jam into him too, and he kind of goes down, recovers. And these two over here will believe that he can break away. Got him. You see this one faint on Conrad and instead just rake claws across his face and just cut right across.
Good.
You see the blood go down. I mean,
Boy.
Yeah.
half of his face is just mauled. And then one over here on these guys. Yep. That guy already had 5?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's dead. No way. You see the same, him kind of kick up and with the foot talons just dig into its chest and toss it backwards. Broderick.
Alright. Broderick would rush forward and say,
Get back up, Nos! Your job here isn't done yet!
I'm giving you a bardic inspiration. And then I am going to tap on the monk's shoulder. This is like,
Do you think you'll die here?
and cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Nice.
Good.
Please fail this. Please fail this.
What kind of save am I?
It is a
Wisdom
wisdom save.
save. You do it on Monkey?
What?
He failed to do it.
Ah!
Or did you do it on Conrad?
I did it on wisdom.
Okay, perfect.
So he will take 7 damage from me,
Uh-huh.
and then spend his reaction to run as far from me as he can.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by my count, is 1, 2, 3, a 4.
A 4!
Opportunity attacks.
He is.
Oh,
5.
make that 5.
We're just gonna say he gets right here for the
Okay.
moment.
Now here's mine. Go ahead, everybody in. Here's mine. You're at disadvantage because you're prone.
Yep. 13.
But I gave you a bardic inspiration. I got a 16.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sneak it.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
sneak
fair
it
enough.
after.
I got a 16.
Okay.
18.
Oh yeah. You guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to roll
16
for.
get him?
Technically.
Technically, 2 of those boys are going to hit him.
Or tried to.
Try to. I did 6 damage.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I adding up the amount of damage that this would be versus what's left. You have a combined effort where you all just you stick that rusty cutlass in. You swing around as both of the Aarakocra just grab him so that he can't go anymore and start tearing across
Man. Love it when Dissonant Whispers comes
Yeah, that worked
together.
well.
I saw that opportunity. I was like, well, it's a gamble because Wisdom is probably his good save.
Yay!
And then he would point that rusty cutlass at Conrad. Like, you're next!
I feel like a little crooked, probably.
Yeah, it's bent, actually.
You're kind of like, oh wait, let me move it over a little bit.
Conrad's sweating. You can see that he's starting to add up what's happening. I mean, he's focused on having to stop this attack from the Aarakocra, but his is a look of growing terror. Okay. One left. Over here, he's gonna swing on you. And he won't get you on that one. Wait, what's your armor class?
17.
No.
Yeah.
You feel one come at you, and as the next one comes, I don't know, you trained with cutlasses like this. It's bulky, it's weird, but you're just like, remember an old lesson and just, and block it.
Take it.
Okay. Enemy 2. I'm just gonna try to continue on this road crap. Does get it. I'll keep track of that. This initiate does get one kind of under, and you hear ah! Nas, it is your turn, my friend.
Stand up for half my move.
Got it.
Move me towards big dingus.
Yeah, you get there.
Yep. And attacking. It's a 21.
Yeah. You.
It's gonna be 11. I'm gonna add damage.
Okay.
13. And
Bardic
then
Inspiration OP, please nerf.
offhand. 16.
Afraid that won't get him, my dude.
That's right, because he's got the shield.
With one, as you kind of see this Irokuro just tearing at him and him blocking, you manage on your first one to come up, kind of slide under a wing in the shield and dig in. And just rake it up across his chest. You saw, in fact, the exact spot that the Manticore got it. You knew it was weak. And just pulled it up and rent half of it. And he lets out like, like he's trying to keep it together. His eyes are wide, and he is panicked. He's still up though.
He's gonna drop me.
He points the wand at you.
Yeah.
Spends his.
If he shatters that wand.
He spends
spent
what
the
you
last
know
of
is the
them?
last 2.
Oh my god.
You don't have to roll.
Oh my God.
Because you're gonna drop me.
Yeah, you're dropped.
Yeah.
Drop.
D20.
This is for the wand.
Whoa!
Still good.
Did it roll off that 20?
I saw.
I saw 20.
Okay. That is Conrad's turn. Henrik.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, you can get there.
Oops.
Killing blow.
That boy to get that shield.
He's got my shield on, right?
He's got your shield. My dude, take advantage. He has flaunted the shield of Tempest. He has taken what's rightfully yours.
Inspiration. You are the worst.
Your dice, man.
You are the worst. Oh my god! One,
How could you do that?
3.
You cheated.
You cheated. Oh, I can't wait to. Jeez.
You got anything else for it?
No.
Okay. Honestly, it's an overwhelming anger that gets you, and you try to hit, and you're almost focused on the shield, and you start bashing the shield itself, almost like you're trying to knock it off of him, just hitting your own shield. You can feel this claw almost starting to break under the strength of your shield.
Word, I guess I could healing word Nos again.
Yes.
Again.
Not a bad idea.
I feel like I'm in
7?
Barovia.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
This is a walk in the park compared to Barovia.
I may miss my every swing, but I will healing word you guys with every turn.
Nice. Well, okay, yeah. So you could have done the bonus action swing at him again.
I thought about it,
Just to
but
try to take him down.
yeah. But Nos is laying down, you know.
I appreciate it. Oh man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's that guy.
It's the you see the queen grab his shoulders and pick him up, and you see the other one swirl around with the javelin and just dig right through him as she lets go, and he scatters to the floor. The javelin snaps as he does. These two over here.
Wow.
Things are going well.
They each take an end. They tear that initiate in half. I mean, it is honestly brutally savage. This one on Conrad does not get him.
We need to kill.
Yeah, that's right. We
Okay,
want that
so
kill.
let's see. They are both gone. All right, Broderick.
All right.
All of you versus Conrad.
I'm sorry, Conrad. Actually, I'm not. You will die here.
Dissonant whispers. My man, come on. Fail it one more time. Fail it one more time for me.
Oh!
I think it's safe to say he's going to run away after taking 11 points of damage from the Dissonant Whispers
He
themselves.
doesn't even get a chance to run. How do you think my man deals with these dissonant whispers?
I think he drops to one knee, looking up apologetically, like tears streaming down his face as whatever horrors he's imagining come to pass.
I think Ender's going to take one swing on his dead face.
Out of anger?
Yeah, he's a coward holding the shield with Tempest on. It ain't cool.
He hid behind others. He was everything that you hated in anger, and you guys do see this. Not that Henrik isn't like ferocious in battle. I mean, he smashes Conrad's head in. I mean, in a bout of anger that is
Breaks the club.
like barbarian level. Yeah, the club smashes, and you stand up, not looking at anybody, but just the heavy breathing over him, just like.
Broderick will put his hand on your shoulder.
He is dead, Stalwart. We have avenged. The tower is ours. We should venture below.
I think Henrik would throw that club down and be like, I need to find my
Hammer.
third
Oh, yeah.
mace.
Makes
Broderick will
Whatever
wrest the
the wand.
wand from his hand,
The smoking wand.
put that in the little dagger sheath he has for it.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then
Quick
we're going
break.
to go back through the rest of the tower.
Alright, we'll
Nice
be
job,
right back.
fellas.
More tower exploration.
Y'all ever have it where you a cleric of Tempest and you can't hit anything?
welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging in. What a fight, y'all.
What a fight. Question.
Yeah.
If we search these 3
You
rooms,
would find all of your things.
Yeah!
Where they were.
I'm gonna take that
Exactly.
wand back from that boy.
I would
You are
roughly grab my
unattuned
shield
to
off
it
him.
at the moment, but it
Yeah.
also has no charges,
Yeah.
so no worries. But yeah, you find all of your stuff in the room. It looks like they didn't have much. They did rifle through your things, but it doesn't look like they took anything.
He would find the rapier his son made.
Oh yeah.
Just be
I
like,
think I would kind of worriedly be looking for my music box, but as I understand it, it's still there. I can't take that
and you
back
do.
now.
I mean, and you kind of had it in a spot. You do see that your rapier and your music box were. I mean, they were just discarded. Like you could tell that they just
didn't care
were
about it.
tossed.
This is nothing. I'm gonna keep that rusty old. I think he's gonna sheath the rapier and just be like, "You've earned a second life." He'll just put it like in his back of his belt.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's a strange, weird make, but it is.
Yeah.
It was effective.
He'll get it fixed up
I'm
next
absolutely not
opportunity.
keeping that club.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're like,
there's no
whatever.
club to keep, my dude. You
Oh yeah,
shattered it.
shattered it.
And the Aarakocra you see they're not even touching the bodies with their hands, it's just their feet tones. They're almost like half picking them up with their toes and pushing them around and like still like
Making sure they're dead.
making sure they're dead, like they're poking again. And you see all of them again kind of huddle up together, puff up their feathers and like put their heads together, and you hear like cooing and like and then they spread out.
You said Savra was on the table.
Savra's on the table, and as well as Thurl.
Broderick would walk over to Savra and like motion for the queen's attention.
The queen comes over again, her wings stretching and then folding back to themselves.
Obviously, the spire is yours, Nos. So, do you agree?
Absolutely.
Do with the bodies what you will, but I'd like to bury this one.
She regards it and comes real close to Savra's face. And Savra, you do see that more so than Thurl, they seem to add some ceremony and ritual to. They spread flowers from. You don't actually know where they would have got this many flowers from. Over the manticore is set next to her, and she's laying, looking peacefully, and the queen kind of goes down. It's like, we will discard the other bodies as they discarded. There's this one we will leave.
There is more below, yes, Nos. What did you find?
I didn't get below.
We'll continue searching.
Does he have he had like a great sword or something?
Yes, Thurl did.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's typically, hands are clasped
I
around
just break his fingers and take it out, and I cut his head off.
You managed to, and
I think Broderick would be watching like a little bit like.
And I pick up the head and I just throw it out the window. He won't come back from that. And he says it very coldly. Like he's done this before to make sure that people can't be raised from the dead.
You knew that he was a powerful enemy, and you tossed it, but you did see you knew that the poison black #1 was effective. You never watched what it did. I mean, it looked like it burned him from the inside.
Good.
He got almost an instant plague, and so you toss it. The queen motions for the great sword.
I handed her.
She takes it and she hands it to her lieutenant.
Nice.
And he's like,
What armor was he wearing?
Thurl?
Yeah.
Full plate. Ornate full plate.
Is that better than what I have?
You have splint, I think.
It is, you add it up, it is not sized to you, but if you want to carry it and get it resized in a town, you could certainly do that.
You know, a smith.
We do
I
have a
will
smith.
carry it.
I'll look down at it just very. You should take that.
I think you're right.
There's no more ceremony left for him. He made his decisions. He doesn't deserve a hero's burial. He wasn't a hero.
Broderick will pull one of the chairs out of the table and sit down, just kind of by Savra's body, and take a short rest.
Yeah.
You guys can definitely get a short.
Were we
rest.
completely out of hit dice earlier? Because I didn't track it on Beyond.
I wasn't.
I
Right?
used 2 of my 3.
You had, and then you would have
You
got
got
back.
one.
You would have got back. You are now up to 4. You would have recovered 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Over that long rest last night.
So
you're full.
Yeah,
and
I
I
am
don't remember
too.
if I had used 2 or 3. I think.
When I did my long rest, they were all reset.
Just say it was all
Alright.
reset.
Well, I'm definitely spending some hit dice.
Never added D6 to the first one.
Yep, D6 for the first one for Song of Rest, my dude.
Uh,
Bard's OP, please nerf. Oh god.
You guys are taking a breather, cleaning up your wounds. Broderick, you're looking at a very serene looking Sabra, although the one side of her face that's turned away from you is burned from electricity from a thunder wave. But the side that's looking at you, you see a girl not unlike your daughter was.
Nah.
I am. Wait, I messed that up. I was only down. Whatever. I used 2 hit dice.
I'm full, I had to spend 3.
I'm full. I just went through it.
Nas, you're sitting there,
Looking-
putting Rezir back, looking. This is not the. These
I'll
are
take the daggers I used and hand them back to them.
they.
I'll wipe the blood off of them and hand them back to them. And,
They take them and they bow to you as you do it. And like one that you know was you heard kind of squawk that the queen seemed to hush it,
Mhm.
who had been eyeing you, bows a little bit lower. It's like
I bow awkwardly.
Yeah, I mean you get the intention of a slightly more welcoming demeanor
Okay.
from that one than it had previously. They gladly take them. You have not been used to fighting like this, Nas. This past 2 nights have been.
No, for me it's like, bam, I leave. Not like endurance fests.
And frankly, you don't remember any time. You remember Kaliar taking out a few people in an alley,
Yeah.
but this was far more, so it feels good. Henrik, you feel the rage subsiding. Your heartbeat was like a war drum, a familiar one, but you can feel victory. You almost you can feel the ring on you, almost like you've taken in the victory of battle, and you can just feel it in your veins. What do you guys do now?
I guess
No.
flow 5, right?
Yeah, should we level up? It's weird to level up midstream. He's waiting for after.
Oh, okay, cool.
If only, my dudes.
We should continue exploring below. None of us have seen it.
There's a hefty chest in his room that I unlocked.
Is that so? Well, lead on. Was there any ale? A bit parched.
I believe the stores are downstairs. We'll go down in a second.
We'll make haste then.
Do you guys go up or down?
We'll go up
Up.
and just leave that chest. And I think that was the only thing of value that I found in the room was the chest. If I remember right.
There were a couple scrolls too. Give me one.
Oh, that's right.
moment
I didn't
and
look
I
at the
will
scrolls.
tell you. Yes. I'm gonna say. I'm assuming you guys look in the other dorms as well. There were
Mhm.
mini chests in there
Yeah.
that you didn't break.
Right.
And we're confident there's nobody left here. You're
Well, we're going up there. Coker and the dump level below us. So
They would run right into Aarakocra if something was down there. Though you do know that everything that you saw in the pinnacle, you saw in this room here. Whether or not anybody's hiding, you wouldn't know, but it doesn't. Logically, tactically, you're like, why would they save anybody? Okay, so within there, you find 320 gold in the chest. You already had the potion of heroism.
Question: can
Yes.
we round that up to 321?
There's gonna be some other gold.
Okay,
So-
right. I'll add it up.
yeah,
So let's just say 321 for that, because we're just gonna do easy increments. You do find a scroll of Beast Bond and a scroll of Skywrite.
okay. Beast Bomb, Druid, Skywrite, probably Wizard or Bard.
Or Bard. I'll take the scroll of Skywrite.
Okay.
Beast Bond, I don't know that any of us can actually use it.
Probably sell it though. Probably for like I don't know, like a +2 rapier probably would sell for.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
would
Then
at
I'll
least,
take that.
yeah.
What was it? Beast
Say
Bond?
nothing if that's a good Sean.
Don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said nothing.
Thumbs
Uh, within all of the knights, you find essentially in various valuables and things, you find 160 other gold.
Nice.
This is in addition to the 321.
That's right.
Keep going. Keep going.
And that's it, unless you know that the ring that Saber received for her kill was worth a hefty sum.
I don't think Broderick would let us take.
I won't. I wouldn't even suggest.
You picked up.
I steal it. No. No. He would not do that. He's not a thief.
Yeah, no.
161.
He's an assassin.
He's a killer.
Yeah. I'm sorry. How much?
161 each.
Oh.
Yeah, boy. Getting rich. One horrific fight by one horrific fight.
So I guess, like when you're reading the module, there's like easy, hard, and nightmare, and we're just playing easy mode.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, if you want to
Yeah.
stop going easy on us, let us know.
Sure. You guys have...
Welcome to the life of
It's
a
auto
You
saving.
nearly kill
You
the
guys
whole party.
convinced me. I'm completely convinced.
Nearly
No
kill the
worries.
whole party. And
We're
I
gonna
make fun of
go
you for
at
not being
least
hard enough.
double deadly on everything from here on out.
Double deadly.
I like a walk in the park with my wife or something, but
Can we play New Game Plus Plus?
Oh man, y'all gotta die.
Total gold. 355 total gold for me.
281. Hey, what did I spend gold on?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, why don't I have 261? I think you're gonna be a little lighter than you think you are.
Okay. That's everything you find in there. What would you guys? You guys going down now?
Yeah.
You go past the most of the Aarakocra. The queen does come with you though.
Okay.
So as you guys descend, it's the exact same stair.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna take like a brace of those guys' knives
Oh yeah.
just to have them.
They have
Like I think Nos at this point, like one of the things he wants to do is take like a knife from every like foe that he's fought.
Oh yeah,
Like getting
easily.
a postcard.
I mean, they were
Mhm.
they were bristling with tiny daggers
Yeah.
and are mostly throwing daggers and
Perfect.
such. So yeah,
Yeah.
they've.
I'll just take kind of like a bandolier.
You can do a
of them.
bandolier of them.
Yeah.
You can decide how many that
Okay,
is.
say 4.
Yeah, okay.
So I have a lot already.
You guys descend, and you know that this was the main. As you come down the stairs and the kind of archway opens, you see that front hall where there's the giant eagle that's
Right.
up there. That's
Like a battering
like
ram.
a battering ram, but you see the closed gate. That you had all seen. As you guys hook around, you see a couple small dormitories. Again, that are far more sparse.
I think we'd nose through them at least. Just kind of doors open, rapier out.
You guys see a symbol that you saw on the monk's cloak. That it's like a triangle upside down with looks a little bit like if a kid was drawing a tornado. In fact, and it only knew geometric shapes.
Like circles.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is a circle.
Hold on.
This looks more like.
And down there you
Let me
find.
get
thought
into this
was-
box.
I thought this was a rhombus.
I don't know how they fit, but there were 7
I thought it was
dragons
the first
downstairs.
wheel a caveman ever
I'm
made.
going to get a protractor to start being. I'm going to take 15 minutes for every tiny bit.
We're about
So everybody watching, you can thank these guys
We're gonna go on a break. Kashan has to draw small circles.
for an hour.
We'll be back in 25 minutes.
We put 4 dragons in it because he's mad at us.
Okay, so dormitories.
Dormitories. The next is a kitchen.
The next level down.
This is the level down.
Okay.
It had
Like another room.
It had a couple like it looked like it was initially made for like servants' quarters, but you
Gotcha.
can tell that clearly the initiates stayed in this room. Next, you get to the kitchen.
Rate it.
Oh yeah, Broderick would like.
What's next?
Is there any real food here? Not that those rodents weren't delicious.
Oh yeah, the queen is behind you.
No, he wouldn't insult her.
And she's kind of looking around. I mean, poking almost curiously through things. Yes, there is the roast that you ate, cooked meats, leftover cheeses.
I just sit down and just start shoving food in my
I
mouth.
think it's. I mean, they haven't had a proper meal. Well, I guess they
The
ate
feast the night
at the
before.
feast the night before. So
I
think
didn't.
they're
Yeah,
probably
you
fine.
didn't.
I
You haven't
didn't.
eaten anything.
I think Brojic would still be a bit peckish.
Yeah, we don't feel any danger, I assume, right now, so probably.
Again, I'm just going into like I eat when I can,
This,
and I just.
I mean, it was a
shoving-
feast. This
Yeah.
is like leftover Thanksgiving dinner set on a second table.
Yeah, I would
Then I'd
make
make
a
a sandwich
sadness
of it.
bowl. Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, I just mix it all together.
Everything, just
put it
stir it
into
up.
a gray mush and just like, oh man, corn and mashed potatoes.
There's the
I do
Thanksgiving
love
smoothie.
I'm gonna make conchecks, not purple, for how much you're eating.
Thanksgiving smoothie. That's a better name for it. We call it a sadness bowl, but that's even better. Maybe I'll combine the two. A sadness smoothie.
The wine is excellent, of course. Everything you eat is top quality.
I guess it's early morning-ish, right?
Yeah, we came.
Oh,
We
yeah.
came before. We
I mean,
flew in like before dawn.
It's like 6:30 a.m. right now.
Yeah.
It's 6:30 a.m.
I'm gonna stash one of the bottles in my backpack.
The year
Bottles.
is 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brojic would see
Wine.
him do that and be like,
Yep, that's an excellent idea. Young man, as I said, he's got more wise in just his last few days.
stuff that in the pack.
And you go through the vintages, you know, you're like, oh, yes, good year, good year.
I remember that one well.
And he
I
starts
was only
telling
50
you
then.
telling you stories of it. He's like, I drank this once with my wife when we were visiting.
Our 23rd anniversary, we were in Neverwinter, as a matter of fact. Good vintage.
He'll take something out of. In fact, he has a small chest in his pack.
Yes.
I think he's just gonna be like, just leave that for 2 more bottles.
All the food we found, you're like, yeah.
No, I think he would stuff a couple of wine bottles in his bag.
You guys eat, drink, load up on wines to take
Is
with
the
you.
queen annoyed or is she down?
Probably hard to tell.
Yeah.
She goes through some of the food and you see her eat it, like take some and just doesn't.
The old beaky boy doesn't react.
Well, I mean, they're carnivores.
Yeah, I mean she tears into things and kind of looks. You see her call up and you see some of the other Arokra come through, pick up some of the things that you're not eating, take it upstairs.
I'll let them.
I think we'd continue down. Are there more stairs?
Well,
going
there's
down?
Not now,
Stables.
there's other things on this area.
I think at some point I would ask, instead of walking around ignoring the queen, I guess, maybe talk to her. Ask, what do you intend to do with this place?
She looks up, half having food hanging out of her mouth. That she,
Take your time.
this will be our aviary now. You will watch the rally. I will send a flyer to our kingdom. Haven't spoken in some time. Try to bring more. But we will watch the gully.
What about that temple? It'll need clearing before long.
That's the gully, right?
It's in the gully.
It's in the gully.
True enough. But no powers here will clear that temple. We know from this shaman. Something old has come out. But if more arrow come, we will watch it as sentinels.
You wish for our help at some point. Was this the help you wanted from us?
You are a strong arm. We would have your help many a day. But not any day soon. I think it would be like flying towards the sun. Fall too quick.
Oh, afraid we're out of leads.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you an info, my dude, for talking to engaging the queen.
Well,
Disrupting the raid.
we heard about the Sacred Stone Monastery.
You did.
Oh, was that not the same thing?
I don't know.
Well, she said keep an eye on the Sacred Stone Monastery, and then we
Right.
saw.
I would assume
Yeah.
the sacred. If the. I'm gonna go upstairs and look.
Yeah,
through
I was
the-
about to say,
through
let's
the
go do
slide
that.
glass.
You remembered the way it was pointed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was,
Actually, if you return them, we should finish here first. Then we'll go take a look.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think we'll continue the descent to the spire.
So on this level, you guys come to. It seems like a strange, like addition, and you almost feel humidity coming out of one of the doors next to the kitchen. You push it open.
Of course we push it open.
As you come in, you didn't notice from just the angle that you flew in on, and it was on the backside. It's like a small solarium in here, and a bit of a greenhouse. So this is where you see that the flowers were from. There's vegetables in here, all fresh. As you turn a corner, kind of past the rows of vegetation, it's a fairly ghastly sight. You see, it looks like it's been a statue that's been being like kind of carved and put together, and it almost looks like a Renaissance statue where there's what clearly looks like an elf holding a spear across this way, and the wings on her back are clearly Arokra wings that have been put in place. It seems like they've been sealed with wax.
We shouldn't let them see this.
I think we
As
should.
you say
think so?
that, it is
We're going to anyways.
it is too late. The queen comes past, and you hear her stop, and then you see her take flight, and she is just talons tearing at this. It wasn't wood; it almost looks like it was resin, like it was starting to be like cast, and that the wings were put on. But you do get a clear look of what looks like a beautiful elf in a typically regal and noble position, holding a strain. The spear is ornate looking. She, rips into the resin, tears through it, and you see her just kind of leaning over the wings that are laying in the viscera of what was this statue.
I'll just step out of the room.
Yeah.
We got our vengeance.
I think he would say that as he was backing out of the room. We'll give him space.
I think Henrik would just be arms folded, kind of nodding, like, fuck that guy. Are these people? I think Henrik's kind of angry right now.
She gets up and she makes eyes with you with that, and seems to convey a weight that is so familiar to you, but you couldn't quite put a word on it. And then she storms past you, and you can hear her going up the stairs.
But we haven't seen any like armory or anything like that.
You do come to an armory.
Oh, okay.
Here, it's a bit more like a closet. Like
Okay.
It's a couple racks. It's got a few more spears and long swords.
How much farther down do we get the sense the stairs continue? Right?
About the exact same distance that they have between
Okay.
each level.
Gotcha.
But the armory's there. There is one last room, and you've kind of gauged that it's probably a bit larger than the other ones, with the exception of the solarium.
Was there anything unusual in the armory that caught our eye?
Nah, nothing. It looked exactly like the outfit of the Feathergale Knights. Like
Okay.
the same type of swords and spears. As you guys push open the last door, again, a sight that's a bit tough. You see a Spartan room with a single mat on the floor. And you see on the rafters chained up, there's a bald-headed human that you can see is swaying and barely breathing. You can see one dressed exactly like him in the corner who looks like he has been beaten to a pulp.
To death?
To death. The second one is dead. This one is also beaten, but you can see the respiration of somebody breathing. You also see on his torn clothes, looks a bit like a monk himself, similar build, similar types of clothes. You see that symbol of the triangle
Of the
of
earth.
the earth. And his head is shaved, and you even see one of those stone masks kind of shattered on the corner. But he's put up, and essentially it looks like he's put up like a punching bag would be
With rope or
with rope. Just, I mean, he's dangling.
Is he unconscious?
He is. He doesn't seem like he's unconscious. He seems like he's fighting to not fall unconscious.
I guess our mace is sharp enough to cut down. I guess so. They put
I mean-
blades on him.
Yeah.
Broderick would just do a firebolt on the rope.
You do.
I'd say the stalwart catch him.
Cast the firebolt on
Are
him.
you sure you want to do that? He is an enemy.
He isn't going
There's
anywhere.
no danger to us in this mission.
Very well. Let's slip my hand in my hand crossbow over my cloak.
He's like, cool, do it.
You hit it. You catch him, and as you catch him and kind of start laying him down, he sees your armor, and he's like, I knew you'd come. But they were no match for us.
I'll come up behind him and whisper.
Yes.
Sure, don't hurt me on the.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think I'd say yes. Of course, I wouldn't leave you. Just trusting not.
I'd be like, yes, of course. We came. We're here to rescue you. We have done them in.
Like, knowing you're terrible at deception.
Go ahead and roll.
But he is wearing the
He
armor,
is.
right?
Yeah, go ahead and roll
Yeah.
it. It's a low difficulty.
Alright.
I think mostly from your Waterdavian accent. And your old man is, he's like, that's strange.
Fair enough. So, roll in deception.
Deception.
How's a 25?
Yeah.
So, is that pretty good?
Deceptitized.
He would, he'd change his voice, mimic what he had heard before. He would mimic he would try to mimic the dude who was in the Cult of
Larak?
Believers,
Larak.
Larak. He would try to sound like Larak.
You start as you would catch yourself and like lower the cadence of your voice and the timbre, the inflections. Also, his eyes are so swollen and black. I mean, you imagine he can barely see.
Mm.
And he's like, good. I didn't tell them a thing.
Then you kept our secret safe.
Of course, I would not upset the abbess.
Tell us that secret, just so we know you remember it.
I mean, we remember
We know
it, but
what it
do
is.
you remember it? The abbess, huh?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Not sure what to ask him.
How to not
yeah.
like game it, but
Yeah.
Okay, I'll walk over to him now. Ask him where the Sacred Stone Monastery is.
Yeah.
He would expect us to know that.
Later, figure it out. You're
Yeah.
smart.
Do they know where the monastery is?
No, they don't know where the monastery is.
Good.
sorry.
Where is that again?
But if they did know, where would they know that it was?
As you guys are pausing, he's like, can I have some water now?
Yes, just one moment.
I'm gonna cast on a truth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll just be like, yes, one moment. Where is the monastery?
Do they know that they're in the
They get a save.
They get a save. They get a save.
Okay. What is it?
I think they do know they're being compelled.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they know.
Yeah.
I mean, if they.
Alright, so I'll cast. Actually, I'm at level 2 slots.
No, I mean, if you want to do that, you've cast it. That's fine. I just want to know if they know that this is now.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, which is why they get a save.
Yeah, they get a save. And they have to make the save each turn, and I know when they've made the save.
Okay.
Which means I
Oh,
can
really?
wait.
It's each turn? Oh,
Every 6 seconds they get a save, and I know when they've made it and when they haven't.
All right. Well, then, what's your difficulty? What is it? Wisdom save?
14.
Yeah.
But I would still ask it in the voice, still trying to deceive him. I would say,
I must ensure you are who you say you are. Where is the monastery?
Okay, very good. It's like a monastery. Like, from this abysmal spire would be to the east, slightly south, right in the foothills of the Somber Hills, where the rock meets the hills. It stands out.
That is correct. You have done well. Tell us of our glorious abbess.
What is there to say about Helen Ray? She is the Abbess of Stone. She is our leader. She leads a life of self-denial and pain, through which we will be reborn for the cult.
Just a moment. What level is she?
Monastery east and south in the rocky, where the rock meets the hills in the Somber Hills.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do the thing where I reread my notes later. I'm like, Abbess, Hills, what?
Very well. You've done well so far. And how many of our cult exist in that monastery? How many brothers and sisters? Ballpark would be.
What's a ballpark?
In the monastery, I don't know how many are training, but dozens. In the temple, so many.
Of course, yes. We are but a small facet of the shining diamond that is the temple. And one final question.
I'm gonna give him another roll
Yeah.
in the meantime. No, he did not make it.
One final question for you. You've done so well. We are about to give you your wine. What are we going to do when the time is right?
When the time is right.
As he says that, he'll nod at Nos.
When the time is right, the earth will swallow up everything else. Back to dust, back to dirt. To be reborn, we will play our part.
I think I would put my hand on Nas and say, "Now let's make sure you can fight like us. Give him my mace or something, just to let him and tell him to
Oh,
stand up, boy,
Yeah.
and fight. Let's make sure you still know how. Then let Nas stab him or whatever he's gonna do."
He manages to open a completely swollen eye on a blackened, bloodied face. And he looks at the three of you. Realization sets in.
Oh yeah. Brojo could take a couple steps back.
We will be your undoing. Do it, Nos.
He works hard and pushes himself up.
I'll put the hand crossbow away and take 2 knives out and look to you and nod.
I think I would nod. He's got a weapon in his hand. I feel okay.
I was gonna shoot him, but I'm doing this out of respect for him.
He stands up to full height, which you can see is incredibly painful for him to do. And he's like, "Get on with it then."
And I just start circling him. And
There's,
He ain't fighting back.
there's no point. I mean,
He's too beat.
you do see he manages to find the strength to block what you thought was going to be one killing blow, but he holds it, and he knew that he only had one.
As long as he put out an effort.
And you dig in, and his eyes close, and he falls down.
Brojo would just look down at him.
Like, what are we dealing with here?
who is that creature they were talking about?
The abbess.
No, like Boss L something.
Oh, I definitely remember what it was.
What's Yancy been?
Jan.
See.
Ho Chi Minh.
Yamsi Bin City.
That Dynasty Warriors boss.
Obviously,
I don't know, but we should do some research. If we can.
maybe go back to Red Larch.
We could go back to Red Lodge. I have a question.
Yes, they have beer there.
Of course they do, and I do look forward to that. The vultures. They're still here. They were well trained.
Yeah.
Could we not fly them to Red Lodge and cut down on our journey?
Could we not?
You're a day outside of Red Larch
By foot.
by foot.
We also saw griffins too, didn't we?
There was a hippogriff.
A hippogriff, that's what it was.
You guys can descend now if you want to.
First, like, does he have anything on him that would? I mean, I guess we got what we needed out of him, but
Did we just murder Hobo? We didn't murder Hobo, right? I mean, he was clearly a bad guy.
Hobo.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we didn't.
But I'm a
Hobo,
lawful
right?
neutral assassin.
I'm second guessing my moral decisions here as a good.
suppose so. Good,
as a good
bard, lawful cleric, or are you lawful cleric?
I'm Henrik.
Well, if we could talk through it.
Yeah. Why don't you guys? This is beautiful for in character.
Yeah.
You now managed to look down Broderick since you brought it up.
Well, he wouldn't say, "Are we murder hobos?"
No.
I think he would look down and
But-
a twinge of regret.
This man was beaten for clearly an extended period of time and held out for you don't know how long because
Yeah.
the other one is dead from being beaten to death.
But remind me, he did just say some shit about.
Ending the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was talking about ending the world.
Stalwart was what we did. How would Tempest smile upon us or
He
otherwise?
died in battle.
Did he?
A stretch to be sure, but
Was this wretch worth saving? Could he have been convinced otherwise of the errors of his ways?
you heard his words. I think, what was,
Savra?
no,
Savra.
the guy.
Thorough.
Thurl had a much better chance of being saved than this wretch.
You think so?
He wanted the
He
world
seemed
to burn.
pretty insane at the end.
Thurl was drastically misguided.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Eric just said murder hobo court is in session.
I'm gonna send that picture of Q.
Yes.
Floating in his chair.
Yeah.
You think you're better?
At least Thurl thought he was doing good. He wanted nothing more than the world to.
Look, Savra seemed like a decent person.
Safra did.
That,
And she was caught up in all of this. What do
as
you
I
think?
said, misguided.
He was a
again.
fanatic.
And many cultists died at the well that day. They certainly had it coming. There was no redeeming them.
These are no different than them.
What you all realize you saw, and however you take it, what you saw is devotion. And the man that you
Look, if we're going to continue along this lines, we're going to have to do some things that we don't like to do.
Can't change every mind.
I
We're going to have
disagree
to
with
make
you,
hard
Nas,
decisions.
but I do think what we did here was just. His will was truly bent on the destruction of this world, if we are to believe what he said. And he was speaking the truth, I can assure you that. I believe we can defeat our enemies and not succumb to their level. We can do that, Nas. I know you.
I don't know.
Tempest would prefer we met him at his fullest strength and battled him down the way one does, but what were we to do? Let him go, face him another day, and
He would be armed with information. Yes, alright. Forgive me for second guessing. It's just. You understand, Tempest.
shows your heart is good.
I hope it is. I don't know.
When we stop questioning ourselves, we can stop questioning ourselves. And we can think of the rest of our.
I'm not sure my intentions were good. I came in here with vengeance in my heart. But
Just vengeance.
just vengeance, of course.
Thrown from the
Yes.
top of a spire. Vengeance.
Those who met death today deserved it, yes. Let us move on. Could we, do you think, take some of those mounts and return to Red Lodge?
You two
I
rode
don't know
them.
how to ride one of those things.
How but we do. They're well trained. You can count on me, Nas.
You sure they weren't just following the other vultures?
They could have been.
I'm not too keen on getting on something that I can't control.
You, to a certain degree, did feel like it was essentially riding a horse, but you also didn't get all of, like, you didn't get the Z axis fully. You were like, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I mostly
I
got
got the
it,
turns.
but
Fly, yes. Land,
No!
so it was It was a bit, but they did seem like they are a bit on autopilot. Whether that's here at the Spire or in general, you don't know.
Are there horses anywhere?
And like, what happens if something spooks it when we're in the air?
I don't disagree with you. It seems like burning a whole day. We do now know where this monastery is, and we saw that one who looked like a attendant at a monastery, who seemed to be calling the shots, perhaps even over Thurl.
Perhaps it's worth trying to convince our new friends to once more carry us somewhere.
I think they're gonna ferry us around like a carriage service.
Perhaps once more.
On the other hand, we did deliver them vengeance for their fallen comrade, and we did deliver this entire spire into their hands. It may be worth asking, at the very least.
I just think that they could be allies in the future, and I don't want to push our relationship with them.
I don't disagree with that either, but they will need us again when they're ready to assault that temple in the gully. Is that 2 separate temples then?
Sounds like it.
One for air, one for earth.
We don't know what that one. Well, once we go look. Let's go.
Looking glass.
Yeah, we'll head up.
Have we searched everything down here at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you have on this area below you. If you
Is the
guys take a
stables?
peek, is the stables. There's a single hippogriff. You look at the Bardi and would assume that was Thurl's.
Right.
And yeah, I mean there are
3 people are not going to ride on a single hippogriff, probably.
no, but there are as many vultures. Let's see, there are
9?
nine
9?
giant vultures
No, they're vultures.
and a hippogriff.
What do you think? I don't know.
Let's go see what this glass shows
Indeed.
us.
I'll do that first.
Well, perhaps some horses.
Would walk through the hall where the Aarakocra are, see what they're doing.
Mhm.
What are they up to? Make
Uh,
themselves at home?
Basically, I mean, they don't seem to be doing much else in the time that you've been there. I mean, they have now. They seem
Probably eating.
they've been eating while you guys were in there. You can see that they raided the armory, and they're holding now, obviously, very finely and ornate spears and swords.
Comparing equipment. Look,
Yep.
with swords.
And you can see them, like, you know,
Mhm.
thrusting, seeing how it works, kind of flipping it around. But they are, and in Thurl's seat, the queen is now sitting with her. And it's a high backed chair. You can see her wings are kind of spread around it. And she's looking a bit solemn, but the feast is going on.
Alright, yeah, we'd head all the way up, I think.
You guys do. The spyglass is close to the position that it was in. You adjust it more. You see exactly what they were talking about. The gully comes into almost a knife point that goes into like. It almost looks like it cuts into a canyon and goes down a bit like how Petra looks, like Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, and it kind of cuts into there. But it is clearly deep because it becomes shrouded in darkness.
No movement around there.
We didn't get where the other temple was, right? Or no, that's the rock temple.
The Sacred Stone, I'm assuming, is the rock one.
Yeah.
We don't know what this one's called.
Yep.
Right?
You do not.
Yeah.
No. While you're watching, you know, you guys are kind of thinking. You do see, it is a pretty big distance, but you do see what looks like 2 figures in white.
Like white, like these guys had?
Yeah.
So that is probably an air one.
And you look and
How are they looking at that, though? I assumed that they were looking at the Sacred Stone because they were keeping an eye on it, but obviously they weren't.
Keeping an eye on the other air temple.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this should be in character.
I'm confused. You said they were in white, much like the ones here. Are they allies then?
Well, at least of these initiates that were here, or attendants, or whatever they were.
Then why would they be keeping an eye on them? Unless it was for a sign or for communication.
Or maybe they were just making sure they weren't being attacked. I don't know.
You do remember, as you guys are talking, that the Aarakocra said that they saw figures in white going into the gully, and the winged one who looked
Right.
like a queen.
Right.
They had seen her
Right.
entering there.
Are there any of these initiates like cloaks and robes that haven't been torn apart?
No. I mean, those Aarakocra spared nothing. I mean,
Are there any rooms that were like people had extra clothes in or anything like
I don't
that?
think so. I think the cloaks were the cloaks. I mean,
Right.
they had their kind of underclothes were about the same.
Okay.
But
All right.
you know what? The stone monks. There was an intact mask and a cloak that looked a little bit like Larax, a little less nice, almost
Right.
just like almost wool.
All right.
That it could kind of go up.
I
with
want to take that.
Yeah, you got it. There are two cloaks that were intact. One mask was shattered. One was
Okay.
fine.
Well, head back to Red Larch.
I think we should.
Put that armor back.
We should figure, yes, we could get that reforged. We should discuss what our next options are. Should we head to Red Larch and then to this monastery?
We're gonna buy some horses.
Yes.
I'm tired of walking.
I'm tired of flying.
No more flying.
I'm tired of both of you complaining, so we'll get horses. It would be good to get into
In character.
it would be good to make it to Red Larch and check on the boy, check on Harlan. Perhaps get one of those apple tarts.
A bed made by a human, perhaps?
Yes, of course.
Anyway.
Very well, I think we have our plan laid before us. I should dearly like to keep that hippogriff for myself, if I'm being honest with you, but
Hey, if you want to try to fly it back, I'm walking.
Joss is walking, he needs a sturdy protector.
You can fly over us with it. It's up to you. Give it a shot.
You know what? I'm gonna let Rule of Cool here take precedence, and I'm gonna try to ride that hippogriff. I'm gonna approach it and see how it reacts to me.
Okay.
I got some animal handling.
Yeah, you got a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just.
You want me to carry your wine so it doesn't break when you fall?
Oh yeah.
can you hold?
Okay.
I think he would take some meat down. I think he knows about hippogriffs, right? Because they had him at the
Yeah.
Battle of the Well.
They-
So he would bring some food
I mean,
for
and
it.
in Waterdeep,
It's not like hippogriffs are rare.
they're not rare.
sight.
It's rare that they're flown within the city, but you
Right.
know plenty of people who have hippogriff pets. Who,
Yeah.
I mean, they've kept them.
hippogriff knights.
Yeah. So, yes, that is not strange. Okay, so you
Yeah.
toss it some food.
Yeah, he'd kind of toss it some food, kind of approach it confidently,
and it
you know?
it takes quick bites, which the way the beak moves for a moment is like, oh,
Oh, God.
yeah, it is razors just
Yeah.
choking down.
Have the old rapier at the ready.
Okay.
Sheath, but.
I mean,
Asket was a good boy.
go ahead and roll animal handling.
There it rolls.
Some my inspiration and change dice. Come on, Daddy needs to paint a hippogriff for this campaign.
Okay.
Oh, shit! Natural 20.
Yes!
Yeah, cheated.
God, the you cheated is the best thing ever. You cheated.
Yeah, check it.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be handing it food, like stroking its feathers.
All right. Yeah. It seems to, for a second, you get a feeling that you might have upset it, but you realize that it's almost like a small play of dominance. Like hippogriffs are far more prideful than horses, I
Right.
suppose, in a way. Like it's pretty serious, and they kind of meet, and you raise up your tiny in comparison, and it meets eyes, and it comes close enough that you're like, yeah, it could eat my face.
Yeah.
And it, like a cat, just kind of
Does the
stroke.
all
Yeah,
gel
just
or like rubs the side
Gel,
of its
and
lips?
you go down the feathers of its neck, and it kind of nudges you with like the top of its wing, almost like a shoulder,
Yeah.
into you. And it sounds frankly a lot like the Aerocra, and just it's kind of cooing and clicking and small like
All right. Yeah, he'd be stroking its feathers as he saddles it up.
I can't believe you got.
Do you link your tail up to it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you adjust the stirrups and everything. Like you bring it to your height because you guys
Yeah,
were not.
we'll be
quite
talking
the same.
to it the whole time, you know.
Yes, I
Can't believe he's not dead.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys watch, and for a moment, you guys witnessed it coming.
I thought I was like I had my hand on my hand
Yeah, you're ready
crossbow.
to kill.
like it very much was like a cat. You're like, that's what a cat looks like before it pounces on a mouse.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you throw your leg over just like it's a horse, it rears up, not in a strange way, but it stretches its wings within its small stable and kind of comes back down nobly and turns to the side. And it is a bit more maneuverable than a horse is,
Right.
so it kind of curls around.
Man, I'd mount it and just... I think it'd look at them like,
Are you all ready to go?
Asshole.
man, I'd let it open up.
And I just turn around and walk out the front door.
You let down the drawbridge. Are you walking as well? Or are you riding?
I think I would walk with Nuss, but I would look in an unangered way at Broderick and in a good for him kind of way.
Oh, I'm not.
You are.
I'm annoyed.
You
at
are
him.
marching off. You are watching up as you guys saw him leave the bottom and up the valley. And I mean, you strafe up the valley wall. And for a moment, you're a little, like you have to lean in.
Yeah.
And it comes up. And it's never-ending story as he comes through. And just...
I raise a fist.
he comes over you guys and glides through. And I mean...
He does a woohoo.
Do you do a woohoo?
No.
Come on.
No, he's not gonna woo.
Roll for wisdom save or go woohoo.
As annoyed as you are, it also looks majestic. I mean, it looked like the vultures were just, you couldn't get the fact that you were unsettled.
Yeah.
The hippogriff just looks noble. And it clearly hasn't been out in a while. I mean, you can tell that it's...
Yeah, let it stretch its wings.
And it is still you getting used to it where it'll fly up and it'll dive and you're like,
Little stomach goes up. Grab it real tight.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
And you guys head back to Red Larch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just grumbling about like, oh, so I'm the cocky one. I'm the one that takes all the risks.
Yeah, you listen to Nas
Oh, I grumble the
kicking
whole
stones
way.
on
Oh,
the
yeah.
way.
I'd be leading it, you know, rubbling his feathers as we go.
I mean, and you're watching it, Nas is like, I mean, it was a bad idea. That was very risky. You know, and he's, frankly, he's old enough that he should know better.
We'll probably never see him again. This thing's gonna fly away and eat him and feed it to his children.
Do you circle around with them, or do you head, direct line to Red Larch? You know they'll get there by nightfall.
No, I
You'll
wouldn't
get
leave
there.
him. I wouldn't leave him.
The hippogriff can also walk.
He'd
at
circle
once.
around and then land and walk for a little bit. Look, I'm okay with considering this a magic item for making sure everyone's been hooked up. But all I'm saying is,
I tell you
y'all
what.
ain't rolled no 20 on no animal handling.
I tell you what. I'll allow it
Oh, thank you.
if you give me the wand.
No.
All right, I shoot it.
You
do
way more.
Jeff
damage
loves
than
it.
the wand.
Yeah, Jeff loves it. Nas is like,
Nas hates it.
on some level too is like, man, I couldn't get
I
fucking
can't agree with
hippogriff.
that one.
Hey, you're free to go get one of those vultures.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want a stupid vulture.
More fitting of Nas.
Hey.
Hey.
I mean, it wasn't that well.
Guys, the road back to Red Larch is uneventful.
By the way, he's already looking for figures.
Yeah. Obviously. I'm gonna have to pay the hypocrite.
I didn't even have to look at what you were doing.
My man looking at hippogriff figures as we're in
I'm
the middle
sorry,
of a game.
I'm sorry.
No, we're actually going to take a break.
Yeah.
You guys reach
No, I knew we were taking a
Red
break.
Larch at about dinner time. Sun's going down. It's evening. It did take you the whole day of traveling. Do you fly in the last bit or do you walk in?
I think I'd walk in. I'm not trying to cause a huge stir.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break.
So
You guys.
Jeff is mad at me in real life. Just so you know.
Fucking 20.
Sean, did you get my PayPal payment for the
Yeah.
microtransaction of flying now?
Just so we're
Yeah.
clear, that's the glowing wings.
Yes. I got the confirmation midway. That's why that was
Yeah,
good
cool.
to go.
Cool.
We'll be right back, everybody. Taking a quick break.
There's an ocean underground, and I've been trying to dig it out. There's nothing there but gold. There's nothing there but gold. There's an ocean underground, and I've been trying to dig it out. There's nothing there but gold. There's nothing there but gold. There's an ocean underground, and I've been trying to dig it out. There's nothing there but gold. There's nothing there but gold. There's an ocean underground, and I've been trying to search out. There's nothing there but gold. There's nothing there but gold. Driftwood, please just drift by. Kick dirt till you find wood that's intact. Stomach turns after pieces of past. Things that don't get to be washed up at my feet. So kick it back, hum a song. Switch the thought
Welcome back, y'all, to the players breaking the game by rolling a 20 on getting a hippogriff at level 4. And I really hope it makes it. I really do.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure.
I do not.
Roll animal handling.
That was
every
in
5
character.
minutes.
I know. You guys reach the small stop-off town of Red Larch, and of course they recognize you. I mean, you guys kind of left as fairly household names, and people recognize you. And of course, people are looking at a hippogriff striding into town, and you're on top of it, and you two are right next to him. And I mean, you see familiar faces, some that you had met in passing.
Right.
Kids that are, I mean, just mouth agape, like looking at you.
All the attention is focused on him. I break away and go right to Mandelbar.
Margabar.
Yeah.
We would head to the inn.
Okay. And there is a stable out there. Cause
Yep.
That's
What is her name?
For hippogriffs?
Kaylessa.
Kaylessa. Jeez. I knew that.
Well, there's a
Murder
stable
bird.
between it's almost like the Red Larch stables.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take the hippogriff there. Is it like a stable boy?
This is my horse.
Well, it had the giant vulture.
That's
in there,
true.
So
So it would be that weird.
it is a young stable boy, and he is kind of like, he's like, you're going to need a stable master.
Yes, I think that would be appropriate. She won't bite.
It's like, I mean, you can kind of hear him muttering. He's like, giant vultures, hippogriffs, and he undoes it, and I mean, he is trained, and he kind of grabs the reins, and he does manage to, and your hippogriff understands what's happening. He's like, come on, all right, and she slinks in and curls around there, and again gives one last like stretch of the wings and settles down and kind of shakes her feathers.
Shakes the old feathers off before settling in.
And the stable boy's like, have a good night, master.
Man, I'll throw him 5 gold pieces.
Oh. He is like, he's like,
Take good care of her.
she wouldn't have wanted for anything anyway, but I'll watch her vigilantly.
I believe you.
Thank you, master. And you could see him starting to get, almost added up. He starts to get hay, stops, and you can see him head over to the tavern.
Yeah.
You guys are heading to the inn. You're heading to Margabar. Alright, we're gonna do the inn real quick.
What time of day is it?
Honestly, all I want to do, I want to get an apple tart and eat it in front of him.
But they're my favorite.
That's all I want to do.
It's like 5 p.m. Like the sun's starting to go down. You probably got maybe an hour left of sunlight, and then
It's not top priority for him to get his plate size. So if it's like closing time, then we'll just wait till tomorrow.
But we got the boy was working there too, right?
Braylon is
Braylon was
working
kinda
with,
working with him.
Fang.
Fang, yep. No, man, Fang would be happy to have it. In fact, maybe we would stop there before the end. Or you go. I mean, I'd be dropping off the hippogriff while you do that.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
We'll do Margabar, and then we'll do Fang. Everything is open.
closing.
Okay, so you head to Lauren's Bakery. And
I won't even ask for him. I'll just ask for an apple tart.
Okay.
Which is your way of asking for him, though?
It is the girl who I don't remember her name right at the moment, but
I don't remember
Susan?
either.
I'm so disappointed.
yeah. The memory palace is full right at the moment.
Don't-
Anyway, Margabar's there. The girl is not there,
Okay.
in fact. So, and nobody else is in here, mostly because it looks like they would have got it before. And he's like, "If it is my favorite rude boy."
How are you doing?
He's like, "Oh, I'm doing very well." Margabar's always doing well, to be honest with ya.
No surprise there.
Unfortunately, I still haven't got in that disguise kit you asked me for. Gonna be in a little bit of time.
I was hoping you'd have it.
Could be here in another day or so.
Okay. I actually want a tart, an apple tart. To eat. Like a regular one, you don't have to make it or anything.
Margabar will make you a fresh one anyway. He's like, "Come on back." And typically he does. He starts. He's got all the
As
flags.
he's doing it, I'll relay what happened there. 'Cause
Okay.
he's an information
You're just
broker.
gonna tell him the whole story. You gonna keep anything from him?
I'm not gonna tell him about the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Okay.
I will tell him about like the Feathergown Knights,
Mm-hmm.
that we took them out, and that we left the tower in possession of some allies, but I don't tell him who.
Okay. I
You
mean,
tell him about the dope ass hippogriff though.
I mean, that would be the first thing you'd tell him.
I say nothing about the hippogriff.
I don't know why.
he is intrigued. He's like, you don't say, and he's patting out the apple time. He's like, yeah, I've been hearing about them Feathergale Knights. I thought they just like to dress up and play warrior, but I guess not.
No, they're a cult,
Huh.
and there seems to be two of them. There's an earth and an air cult.
The earth one was in that moving stones right under here.
Yeah, we're looking into that some more. Either way, figured I'd let you know so you can keep an eye on things in town, and and I'll describe what they look like.
It seems like we might have seen people like that come through over the past year or so. It's like, another thing about Feathergale Spire. It's the only spire around. They're all built by the same group hundreds of years ago. Who were they? Ah, yeah. The Knights of Samala.
Not to Samar.
Roll a history. Just a straight up history check.
17.
Oh yeah, it wasn't hard. Like the Knights of Samala are fairly well known
Okay.
knights, and you know that they're in the Disserin Valleys where they make their home. But they've been around. Don't have a large number, and I mean some of their exploits have been told. They're well regarded as an order of knights. Like yeah, they got Summit Hall far to the east. That's where they make their home at least. But
Summit Hall. Does that mean anything to me?
I think you would have known with that role. You know that is kind of like their kind of training headquarters, temple, keep of the knights, and it's ancestral. Like they've been there for hundreds of years. It's like yes, I remember it when they first came through. They set up these watchtowers. He's like, different places. I think there were 4 of them.
And the Feathergale Spire was one of them.
That was one of them, from what I
Are
remember.
they all towers like that?
No, I don't think so. They didn't say so. I don't know of any other towers, to be honest with you.
Huh. Any of them, like, just structures? Like
I mean, yeah, I think they're all structures.
like a large building or a monastery or something like that?
Could be. Don't know. Feathergale was the closest one. I just happen to know, but I know they're spread out and close to the Samba Hills. One's on a river. I know that.
River.
I think that one's an actual keep, if I remember.
Interesting.
Who told me that? Who said that? Who did I hear that from? I don't remember now.
It's a work in his mind palace.
Once again, thank you.
Oh no. Thank you, my friend. I mean, at this point, he's pulling out the apple tart.
So I'm not paying him. I figure information is his currency.
He hasn't asked you for money one time that
Yeah.
you've been in here. You
Yeah.
don't assume that he'll
Yeah.
ask you for it
Yeah.
this time. He's like, keep me apprised of what you're finding, and I'll keep an ear to the ground.
Deal.
I'll let you know when that disguise kit come in.
Appreciate it.
No, I will be charging you for that one.
Of course.
All right, you head out
With my tart?
with your tart.
Oh man, this is just cruel.
You head to I think Iron Shield Arms, and Fang is in there, and he's sitting behind him. Well, if it isn't a stalwart of Tempest, our savior. How are you, Master Priest?
Good to hear he's our savior now.
Well,
Not just mine.
that's true. Suppose a God of War's just about as good as any. Most Marcon
As good.
Brewmarsh, but he's kind of a twat. Never did me any good, to be honest with you.
No argument out of me.
How'd the mace work out? It did, didn't it?
It did while I had it. Unfortunately, I've got it back.
He's like, oh, I see.
It was replaced with a wooden club for a bit. Made me realize what a fine piece of work I had.
Oh, yeah, wooden club wouldn't possibly. I mean, it couldn't. The weight that you're going to get coming down.
Exactly.
It's not even possible with the lightness of wood. I mean, that's why you've got the metal in here. I mean, he starts to go off for a second.
I'd just be agreeing with him the whole time. Yeah, exactly. That's why I sucked.
He's like, so what can I do for you?
Well, I acquired this. Doesn't quite fit though.
You pull it out. He's like, I mean, and it is ornate, like the detail on it. Like there's small bits of. It's not a lot of gold on it, but there's a couple gold garnishments, like in the
I mean, it's nice armor, right?
It's
noble armor.
It is noble. Like it is shiny and
Noble,
beautiful. He's like, my, that is a fine piece of armor. And he starts kind of looking through it, like seeing some scuffles. He's like, not that many. Thurls was.
Oh, that was Thurls.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that wasn't.
Thurls had a good, like, looked like it had been repaired over and over.
Yep. I was thinking that was
He's
other,
like-
other dudes.
He's like, well, that's an axe there. You can tell by the way they had to fix it. That was that could have been deadly. He's like, oh man. He's like, this is Waterdhavian through and through. He's like, do you see these marks? These are some of the noble houses here. That's what they have. That's the mark of who was it? He's like, well, there's a number of smiths there that could have done it. So I'm gonna get back to it. I know that I've got a book on it.
Any chance you could replace them or dress them up with something more, not show my shield, more in this, not much further.
I'm like, don't know that I have that level of artistry. I could resize it for you,
That'll do for now.
but I'm not a smith. But
A resizing would be great.
let me take a few measurements here. He does not have any measuring tool with the exception of his hands. He goes through
Like, whoa,
your muscles and he like does hands around your chest. And he's like, right about 7 hands. He's like biceps about 2. And I mean he does have a quill and parchment. He's right, and I mean he comes down to the legs. He's like, well, I'll leave the centerpiece to you. You tell me if it's a bit loose. And he starts writing them down, and he's like, hey, Braylon, hey, mate, come on up here. And you see Braylon come out, and he sees you, and he smiles a bit awkwardly. It's like he's like trying to teach himself how to smile again, frankly.
Yeah. Boy, I saw some shit.
And he's like, Fang picks him up, goes and he's like, look at this armor. It's like, it's really nice, it's really shiny. He's like, it is, in fact, shiny. He's like, look at these. And he starts pointing out the, like, what happened and what weapons did what. And as, like, Braylon's going through, he's, like, testing him. He's like, yeah, well, that would be an axe. He's like, that would be an axe. And he kind of mouths to you. He's like, I have it for you in that day or so.
Thank you. If there's a chance away from the boy, I'd say you're doing a good thing taking care of this boy. All 3 of us, I think, appreciate it.
He's like, oh, you know, all kids see a lot like him by the time we're about his age. Seen it a lot. He's like, nothing wrong with him. He's like, I have nothing else to do but sell armor, some weapons, come about break even, but like I said, I made my money. He's like, never took a partner. Like, wasn't in the cards for me. He's like, I appreciate what you're saying, Master, and don't think that none of us don't know what you did here. He's like, kind of looks back at Braylon's looking up, and he's like, I'll get back to that and get back to you.
None.
Thank you, Stalwart. Praise Tempest, how we say it.
Exactly.
And he's like, all right, Braylon, let's stretch them muscles. Let you pick up the leg beats. And they do, you see. And Braylon's
Scraping them on the ground.
you go to the inn first.
Yep.
Okay.
Hello?
Is it?
It's Kayla so there.
Melissa?
She's like, as I live and breathe, how are you, my sir?
Well, I am doing well. Would be doing much better with a spot of ale.
Oh, jeez, I forgot.
You want to go to the tavern
Gotta go to the
instead?
separate tavern. He would go to the tavern first, yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Go get it for me.
I forgot to separate.
You
it
thought
in
you
large.
went into the inn and were
Yeah.
trying to make Kayla, but you remembered. You were just like, oh no, I meant to go.
Yeah.
You go into the tavern. Bartender's back there. I think it's Galen actually. Galen's like, he's like, our Lord and Savior has returned, ladies and gents. Most of the people here you've seen beyond a couple travelers, and they're like, ah!
He would do a flourish of a bow.
Yes. Hello. More stories added to the repertoire.
God, Jeff hates me. Jeff hates
No,
me
Nos
so
hates
bad.
you.
No, Jeff hates
Nas
me.
isn't even there.
It's okay.
To be shaking his head.
He feels it.
Perhaps an ale.
Of course.
Go ahead and pour 2 more. My friends will be joining me shortly, I expect.
He starts and I mean there are people who are already like just turning.
Oh man.
They're spinning in their seats to face you, and they're some of them are quieting down. I mean they're looking at you.
I think
with
he's gonna make a
anticipation.
big scene of it, like stand with his back to everybody, take a big sip, put it down.
Do you remember some days ago that right cunt Conrad who was in here banding about as if he was some noble warrior?
It would poll the crowd to see if anyone remembers.
Yes, absolutely. Like yep, we remember. Bunch of folks.
Indeed.
And he would recount the tale. He would leave out the specific details about the temples and the cultists and stuff, but he would talk about how they were.
Would you talk about the tragedy of Sabra?
Yeah, I think he would. I think that it'd be a fun story and thrilling.
They threw us off the edge, but we did not perish.
I could go on from there, but yeah, he would weave in the he would do the whole roller coaster.
Oh yeah, just the narrative arc.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll performance,
All
my
right.
dude.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Little pinchy.
Take advantage anyway.
All right.
It was a low
All right,
difficulty,
I will.
but they already are waiting.
All right. I'll appreciate that then. 18.
They are waiting just on the edge of their seat, and I mean, when you get to the part where the Eric Krokra took you, I mean, people are slapping the table. Some people get up like,
Whew, you've never seen anything like it. They're like birds with arms.
and people not in honesty are like, I call bullshit. No way, no. But it's all almost in jest. Like they can't take it.
Oh man, I think it'd be like, "'Tis true," and he'd pull someone over, slide him a coin, like, no, he's not gonna pull out the hippogriff. He's not gonna subject her to that. Never mind. I was gonna straight have them be like, look outside.
It's nobody disbelieves
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
It's more just a response like, it couldn't have happened. No, but they are loving it. And when you get to the parts of Sabra and that, I mean, people also aren't. They're not laughing. They lean in close. They're feeling the. I mean, some of them are putting their arms around each other, like clinking glasses quietly. And again, the performance is brings down the house. People are ordering drinks, and Galen is like,
Yeah, Galen's
good for
swamped.
business.
Yeah, and he would do that. He would totally build up his allies. I mean, he gets that. He would talk
Oh,
about,
yeah.
And Nos, meanwhile, was sneaking around the whole time, unnoticed as he does.
And some dude, they're like, knife in the shadows, what you gonna worry about? You guys come into the
Yeah,
tavern.
before I get in there, I'm going to take the tart, I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to slide a hand it under my cloak.
Okay.
But I'm going to come in eating it, and make sure I get his attention.
He'd be like,
Anyways, Nos, as I was saying, my best friend.
The old jaw quiver.
Oh, I've been waiting for this all day. It's so good. I lick my fingers.
Yeah, just stop.
And then I back of my cloak, I pull half of it out and hand it back.
Oh, of course.
Where's the other half?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you liked them.
No, he was saying that he wants.
Oh, you're speaking for me?
No, that's just Henrik's really taking a liking to you and he's modeling his voice after you.
You guys come into a crowd that you frankly have nowhere to hide. I mean,
I'm a little.
As soon as he came in, I'm like, there's Nas, everyone! The Shadow! What did you call him? The Shadow Blade? Yes, Nas the Shadow Blade, that's you.
yeah, they're like,
Okay,
this is
fine,
not what I
that's-
said, but I like it! Not what I said!
It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Does that suit you, dolls? Shadow Blade, everyone.
And a couple of people that you saw, that some of the Youngtown Guard and a couple other people that you remember seeing in the Temple of All-Faith Shrine that talked to Imdar, kind of see you again. And they come up, whereas they were newcomers, and they're like, may the fire purify everything but glory, stalwart.
Say, may the battlefield wash away the unworthy. Thing I remember.
They give you the forearm handshake, and they seem kind of thrilled. And they're kind of looking at each other. I mean, they're teenagers, early 20s. They're stoked. People are coming up to you, and they've already heard the story, so there's aspects that they're like, so when you threw the knife and you caught him in the eye, how much poison? Did he have the poison on it then, or did you poison him earlier?
Go ahead and tell them, dolls, and don't be shy.
I'd already poisoned it. It doesn't matter. He died.
They're
He died.
trying to hear how the rabbit got in the hat. They're like, so did you put it on the bolt before? And like, I bet he shot him. They're trying to work out.
I knew I had to use it at some point, so I put it on before anything ever happened. Don't worry about it. With my 8 charisma.
Yeah, they're like, they
Cal,
still
leave me
just
alone.
don't seem like you've dissuaded them. They don't engage you anymore, but they're like, I just want to give away his secrets. That's what it is. Because I mean, it's just
He kind of nods.
they're
He's like,
already with you. You're like, yeah, that's right. You know, they're pretending on each other. The town is. I mean, everybody that's in the tavern.
Do I see Renobi?
Do not.
Okay, good. I meant to ask Murmur about it, but I forgot.
You do see the young man that she was with that night drinking. I mean, and he is in there celebrating. Like
And he's alive.
anybody. He is alive. Yeah. And he looks unscathed. He doesn't look
Scratching
like
his crotch.
his valuables aren't missing. Yeah, it looks just as you left it. Little less drunk. Yeah, you guys are. I mean, honestly, everybody's just kind of celebrating throughout the end. They've loved your story.
Secretly, Nos likes it. He will never admit it.
Or he can't show it accurately. Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
such a low
yeah.
charisma.
Yeah.
His smile is just coming off as unsettling because he doesn't do it. He's like,
Like creepy.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later when you're sleeping. Ha ha ha.
His idea of small talk is asking your room number.
So when do you go to sleep?
I think Broderick would be having a closer conversation with some of the people at some point. He'd be talking about his hippogriff, and I asked Wiley to name her, and this is pretty tight. So I think he'd be going on about it a little bit, probably now a little bit drunk, but I still think he's pretty good at weaving words, so it's probably still at least interesting or engaging to people.
He'd be like, you know, she's got just the most silvery mane, maybe as silvery as I've seen. Maybe I'll call her Shimmer Mane. What do you think of that?
the people are like, shit, that.
Then it's
There's a
decided.
young woman. She's like, that's a beautiful name, Uncle.
Thank you, dear. Yes, thank you. One more round. This one's on me.
Throw a couple gold at the
They're like,
bartender.
I mean, and they're going back and forth. They're like, if you had a hippogriff, and I mean, they're going through on naturally what you would think. Like, I mean, what do I mean, the conversations are carrying on
Yeah,
even without you.
tight. I think he would probably get maybe a little more drunk than he intended. Because he is, I mean, they had a pretty serious victory after a pretty serious brush with death.
Are all
Some
of y'all
complex
throwing back?
emotions.
Couple brushes with death.
Some complex emotions in the span of like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Nearly died.
Mhm.
Resurrected only to be thrown off a spire. Saved by bird people. Came back. Were victorious. I mean, that's a hell of a roller coaster.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it's only been about a day and a half, 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, we left here like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We were in Red Larch
It's not
Spring 2
three.
nights
It
ago.
ended to be three.
Yeah, you're right.
It took us a day to get there and back.
Day to
That's
get
right.
there, yeah. We were
And you
there.
guys went to the graves beforehand. Yeah. So
Yeah,
3
yeah.
days. Yep.
Still,
Do you guys all throw them back pretty hard?
I don't.
I think Henrik's still feeling a little distracted about his lack of Tempest and might be wanting to go to the temple. I don't know. What time is it now? Sorry to keep
I mean,
asking.
it's been
What's his
a
name?
couple
It
hours.
was a day back, and we had fought at dawn, so we probably left at like 8.
Well, you said we got back
You
at
guys
5.
got about
Yeah.
5. So I mean, it's probably 7:30 now. I mean, the celebrations have gone on, but you also know there's no doors to the shrine.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's meant to be that you, because so many faiths go there, not everybody prays at the same time. And that's, I mean, kind of meant to still be somewhat of a sanctuary. So you could go there without a doubt, and you know that Imdar sleeps there.
I think Henrik's feeling kind of like worn out and, you know, misses his one presence throughout his life, so he's going to go to the shrine, I think.
I'm going to follow him.
Okay.
Henrik feels somebody following him and just turns around, swings his mace as hard as he can.
No, I'm not secretly. Like, he goes out, I walk out and catch up to him.
Oh, sure. About the last part.
I
Yeah.
will.
Okay.
I don't joke.
Yeah. You guys.
Never.
So I know that you're following.
Yeah, I catch up to you.
Okay. I think
I'd like to hear more about Tempest.
come pray with me.
I will.
All right.
I've seen the power that you've wielded on the battlefield, and it has humbled me, to be honest.
Takes a lot to humble you, doesn't it?
It does.
A feat only Tempest could accomplish. Yeah, so I take him with me, and
You guys enter, and I mean, you haven't been in here, so this is the first time you see it. It's like it has stone walls that go up, and it has kind of windows cut through that still look almost ornate, but there's no glass panes throughout them. It's fairly simple, almost shingled on the top, but it almost looks like almost like you'd think of a Zen garden or a statue garden, because there's so many tiny idols of
Is there like an
different
offering
gods.
plate?
There are in to various gods, but certainly Tempest like figures heavily on one and Suni on another, and those are the two that are here. But you kind of walk through almost gravel to get through, and you see, and there's a ton of small candles and incense lit, and there's different types of offerings. Some are absolutely valuables, some are like acorns, some are fruits, some are now rotting fruits. But you see letters written, remembrances, and it spans species, races, and throughout there. I mean, you recognize Annalore now, which looks actually fairly fresh.
Alright, well, I'm going to go up to one of the offering, and I'm going to take out one of the daggers that I took off my enemy, and I'll put it in the plate.
Gotcha. To
So I look,
Tempest.
yeah, the Tempest. I look to you. Is that reasonable?
I assume I think that's reasonable. I don't know.
Offer a weapon to a priest of the god of war?
He, his logic, that's a fairly regular thing. Like, many of the temples to Tempest, I mean, are filled with essentially the trophies of the fallen. And you also know that Tempest is a good god, but he is a war god. And after reading too, Tempest was not the only war god and had contemporaries, and Tempest beat them all and assumed all of their power, letting only one live, who essentially became kind of a servant, not and less of a contemporary. But Tempest ended up being just, king of the mountain, essentially.
A little red knight.
So the Red Knight is kind of just a champion avatar. But there's another god that you didn't read about, and I'll read about it and give you his name later.
Okay.
But yeah, the Red Knight is kind of the champion. And the Red Knight is essentially demigod status. Like he's not quite a god, but he's shown up through time, and he does. It looks like a red chess knight. You guys, you give an offering.
And I'll just ask. I'll ask him like, what do I say? You know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to be like respectful as I can to him because he has saved my life so many times that I can't discount it. So is he. But this is my.
He's also a follower of Tempest too.
Yeah,
He's not a cleric, but
I gave him half a tart. That should be fine.
yeah, you're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
half a tart. That's good.
I think I'd say just kneel with me and focus on my words as I pray, and it'll be as though you were saying them yourself.
Done.
I don't know.
You can make up a prayer if you want to, my dude.
But I don't.
Okay.
That's
okay. I mean,
on the spot.
you don't have
It's a
to.
hard thing to do.
Yeah.
A bullshit story to a tavern is a little
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. If you come up with your own prayer, that will most certainly earn you inspiration at some point. I mean, you can do it in between games, but I'll let you fill in the blank. This is the first time Tempest has come up in this world of ours, so you can write within the lines for that for me, if you want.
Maybe I would direct him that we'll end it with me saying, "May the fire purify all the glory," and I would let him know to say, "May the battlefield wash away the unworthy."
Okay.
And
He gives you that. That's the kind of call and
Right.
refrain.
That's our amen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, amen, and you're welcome. And as he does it, he rolls up a music box that you've heard nightly since you've been together. But for the first time, you listen to the melody, and you do feel almost trance-like, like it is meditative in a way where your shoulders are eased. And it's pretty, and it's powerful, and it's sad. Like it's just a sad, haunting melody all at the same time. But you guys pray quietly, and when you're finished, Imdar, seems like he's come out from what looks like the ramshackle living quarters from behind and has been waiting quietly. He's like, Stalwart, he's like, you know, and friend of Tempest. Like, welcome, brother.
Thank you.
How's Tempest been treating you, Imdar?
To be honest, since you've been here, I've had more people ask me about Tempest than the last couple years that I've been here. We've been getting more and more since the War of the Dragons anyway, but around here, still fairly secluded. But your deeds, at least many of the teenagers here, have come stopped to ask. Others who travel through hear about it in the tavern and have stopped by, made offerings, made prayers, inquiries. So, thanks to you, Stalwart, I'd say we're doing quite well here.
Thanks to Tempest, he guides my deeds, and his own name becomes known.
That is true, Stalwart. Tempest looks to our actions, not necessarily our prayers.
Prayer never hurt, though.
Oh, I pray most of my days away. Yeah, unless a battle broke out, in which I certainly would dust off this old armor.
Best to fight instead of praying that.
Indeed. You headed out of town. Were you successful in what you were doing, what you were looking for? Find the delegation?
In a way, we know our next path. Earth Temple, or what do we know?
Sacred Stone Monastery.
Sacred
Temple
Stone.
of yeah.
Headed to the Sacred Stone Monastery, perhaps next.
I've never heard of that. I've been traveling the valley for years.
Cultists. I don't look forward to it, but it's a necessary next step.
Well, wish you luck. Certainly add you both to my prayers, but I imagine you won't need it.
Is it proper to give gold as a tribute to Tempest?
If you'd like, most certainly.
I would. And I'll put 20 gold in the...
He leans
Okay.
back. Well, brother, it's a kind offering.
Yeah.
And
Anything to keep this shrine going. I think it's important. Never thought about it before. But I have a new earned respect for...
That is noble. We do spread it out to others, but we'll
Good.
carry it along to others of Tempest, help where we can. But as I just said, I would remind all that it's not about the gold or the prayers one gives, but the rightness of your actions.
I think I'd slap him on the shoulder and say, "You're doing well in that regard too." I mean, in the beginning, he tried to convince us otherwise, but he's shown his true nature.
I just roll my eyes.
We were all young once, strong-headed, strong-willed, but time and fate and our paths in this life have carved out something else. To some, that is a righteous path.
It is.
Luck be with all those who stand in the path of the righteous.
Indeed.
Your presence is always welcome. If I say, stalwart, I get from you what I attempt to give to others. I thank you. Glad to see you as well, young brother. Take my leave. I'll give you your night.
Nod and exit.
You guys do. I mean, it's getting a bit late now. I mean, did you stay at the tavern? You had to leave.
Yeah, I think he tied a few on.
Yeah.
Again, complex emotions he was dealing with from everything.
I think you didn't let it get away from you, but
Yeah.
you have definitely
Too old for
ended
that.
up far drunker than you have been in a long time.
Right.
You are a noble. You know how to keep yourself together, but
Yeah. At the point he realizes, like, yep. You'll be excusing me.
you hit a few barstools. You don't stumble over. You haven't said anything embarrassing by any means, but you're definitely now focusing on trying to maintain decorum. You're like, the door is 10 steps away.
Don't be distracted.
There are 2 doors. There's 1 door.
The left door is most stable. Yep.
You make it over to the inn, and Kaylessa is there, and she's like, "Welcome back, master."
Just be closing one eye so he loses the double vision. Good evening. Kaylessa.
We'll be needing all 3 rooms again, master.
I believe we will, yes.
May I be so bold as to help a fine master up the stairs?
Yes, I would appreciate it. Can I settle up in the morning? I'm afraid these coins have become difficult to navigate.
She's like, I have complete trust. I mean, she puts her arm around you and, grabs you, helps you up easily. As she sets you on the bed, I mean, she takes your boots off, sets them down, and is like, I'm sure you know your way around, master.
Man, it'd do the old drunken, too friendly,
Oh, Kaylessa, thank you. You have a kind heart, Not many do, but you have a kind heart, Kaylessa.
You see her laugh, and she's like, I thank you, master, for your compliments. I mean, and she closes the door, and she heads down. You guys come to the tavern. I'm sorry, the inn.
The inn.
I like to think you accidentally called her Khaleesi.
Yeah. You guys get there, and Kaylessa sees you too, and she does kind of have a wry smile on her face. She's like, "Hello, masters."
I guess he stumbled in here.
She's like, I helped him to bed. She's like, he's tied a few on, masters.
I suppose he's earned it.
I have no doubt that you are. I'll be looking forward to hearing a full report. Maybe tomorrow.
I know just the person to tell you.
She's like,
Got a few hours.
I'll wait till midday till that headache wears off.
So I'm gonna wake him up early.
She's like, oh, let an old man sleep.
Yeah, fine.
She's like, I've already made up your rooms. She's like, you said you'd settle up in the morning. I'm just fine with that.
How much is it a night here?
She told you when you had come back, you know, she's like, as I said, when you come back, she's like, a gold will get you 4 days now.
Okay. Well, gold will give us all on at least a night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I give her gold.
Yeah, you know what, Shuba, I'll take 1 gold now. You can decide later if you want to do it. That'll cover all your rooms.
Sounds good. Thank you.
She leads you guys up and you guys get your rooms.
And I probably stay up late sipping wine and studying Kaliar's book.
Okay. You do, I mean, and
Would you start transcribing it now that
Yes.
you almost lost it?
Yes.
Yeah.
you,
Because they do have, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Now would make sense.
Yep.
You wouldn't have before, but now you're like, need to make a backup.
you start working on that. You guys are all sleeping. We're gonna close down here a little bit, but you don't remember when you fell asleep, but you fall asleep at the desk, and you wake up, and you can't move.
Am I still laying down on the desk?
You're like your head's cocked to the angle,
Uh-huh.
and you were kind of looking down at your feet, but as you look up, your eyes make boots that you recognize, and you look up into the corner.
I'm like, shit.
And there, sitting, is a tiefling. And he's smoking a pipe and smiling. But what you do see is that this side of his face
Black.
is black, with this eye now completely black. And it almost looks like where the black veins are, it's pulled the skin taut on one side, and it's all up his side. And he's like, and you hear the familiar voice of your master and mentor, Kaliar. Nasir, look at you, alive and well.
Look at you. Ugly as ever.
You're like, oh, that's all thanks to you, my boy.
Oh, I know. How'd you stop the poison?
Oh. He's like, my apprentice, I didn't. I just slowed it down. Don't get me wrong. You absolutely killed me. I'm living on borrowed time. But I still got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Apparently.
He's like, or maybe I'm just a figment of your imagination. Maybe I'm that little rapping in the back of your head that says this life isn't for you. Who knows?
He just kind of scowls at him.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it feels like you've been paralyzed, but you also can't really tell if it's a dream.
Right.
He's like, oh, transcribing my book. He's like, the one I misplaced.
Yeah, how unfortunate.
He's like, yeah, can't imagine what would have possessed me to do that.
Me either.
He's like, well, I won't lie to you, my boy. You're gonna need every little piece of that book. 'Cause I know what's out there. He takes a long drag on his pipe. Don't know if you're up to it. As good of a killer as you are.
Kaliar, I know. Not a waste of time. You would have killed me, so this must be a dream.
You own me, my son.
I tried.
Like, oh, and you did, but that cuts even worse. Don't you know you were my favorite?
Mm-hmm.
You had so much promise. The day you killed me, albeit slow, I couldn't have been more proud.
And, like, to his chagrin, he likes that. He likes that praise, because he probably never got praise from him.
Oh, he bet Kaliar was cruel.
Yeah.
This is
He's the father I never had, but never wanted.
and he knows it.
Yeah.
And this is a strange bit. Like, you know that Kaliar has gotten almost this. The tone is almost saccharine, sweet, too much. He's done that before he is killed.
Yeah.
You're like, a lot of dark forces out there, boy. Hope you got it in you. Not sure about your friends.
And he gets real quiet when he mentions those two.
It's like, You're like, they may think they accept a killer now. He starts standing up. He's like, but you and I both know who you are. Well, guess I'll be seeing ya.
Not if I see you first.
Doubt that. At that, you wake up.
And he kind of looks around the room, still not sure if it was a dream.
Yeah, you honestly, the chair is there, which you do feel like you put the chair there. But you're like, oh, fuck, did I put that chair there? Like, you feel like you got a little sloppy. And the hairs on your neck stood up.
Yeah.
Could have been a dream, though. To you. You slip into a dream that's half a memory. Your son, Ryder, who sadly died when he was a child, was sick for a long time. And you, completely entertained him in his room. And you taught him how to play chess. So you've kind of gone through and you've showed him what the pieces are. You're like, this is what this does, this is what this does. And he starts kind of repeating them back to you like he's trying to confirm that he has it. And this is not what you remember, but it's implicit in what the pieces mean. It's like, so it's the same on both sides, just different colors.
That's right, my boy.
And he starts turning them around. And you see one that it looks a bit like the stone mask that you saw. And he's a man of stone. And he turns one on the other side. And it looks quite a bit like a Goliath. And he's like, man of stone. He looks at you to confirm. In the dream,
It makes sense.
it makes complete sense to you.
It's like, yes, you're correct, Ryder.
He goes again to the dark side, and he turns it around, and it looks like an elf. He's like, elf queen. And he turns it around, and it looks like an elf cleric. He's like, elf queen.
Right.
He's like, man of the sea. See a dark figure that almost looks like it's barnacled. And turns one around, and it looks like a Callum. Somebody from Callum should. Man of the sea.
He would nod.
He's like, turns the dark one, he's like, fire witch. And he turns the white one, and it looks, again, like a tiefling. And he's like, witch of fire.
That's right. Mirror images.
He's like, but when we play, which one's the good guys and which one's the bad guys?
Well, normally when you play chess, there isn't a good or bad. The colors are only to show which team you're on.
He kind of looks down at the chessboard, and that's your dream.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Inspiration from the DM there. Tying it into the old characters. Oh, you know I love that.
You also have a dream. You dream of your mother, younger than you remember her. And you can see her walking down a road. Time slips, like you just kind of end up like in dreams at the next moment that it is. And then she's surrounded by men on horses in armor with swords. They're arguing. You see them try to grab her basket, which has fruits and vegetables. And you can see her yelling words at them. They get off, and you see one with a plate-mailed hand and armor just clock her. And she goes down, and he starts to pick her back up. And he pulls a sword out to her. And she grabs it with her hands and pulls it, even though the blood is coming, and pulls it down to a shock, turns it, and just stabs it into him. And you watch her as these men are trying to fight her. She's jumping on each of them, taking incredible blows, but I mean, it's savage, it's untrained. You see her biting and clawing, taking out their weapons and stabbing through to do what she can. And you see their bodies crumble and her laying kind of sitting up in the road, bloodied, bleeding, and you follow her gaze as she looks up to the horizon, and you can see the silhouette of a horseback and a knight on top of it with what looks like a crown with a large spear. And it feels like lightning goes, and you can see that it's a red knight. And you wake up. That's where we're ending it, y'all.
Sweet.
All right.
Wow, that was good.
That's awesome. Thank you all for joining us. This campaign will resume next Tuesday, 7:30. We might be a little bit late next Tuesday. I have to travel. You can join us Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard for Curse of Strahd, Part 2 or 3. Part 3, one of the parts.
Yeah.
The continuation. Thanks again, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.